If you were to bite off a kneecap, how would it look?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show. I haven't been here in a while, so excuse me if I'm doing my best to get through these next 2 hours.
Adam,
but
you got your wish. You have a show. Yay!
Yeah, not my wish, Fish.
Not exactly.
Definitely your wish, not mine. But Stick is out, not feeling well. He is doing better, though. So regarding his whole hospital situation yesterday, had kidney stones. He'll be out for today, but he will be back for tomorrow, so you won't have to see me up here too long, guys. But let me introduce everybody I have on the desk with me. To my left, Jeff. Jeff, how you doing today?
Good, Adam.
That's
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here.
You better be.
Especially with this 3 we got here, man.
I mean,
it's a whole new 3.
It's a pretty hot fire 3. To my right, Eazy, how you doing, buddy?
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Listen, we're going to get straight into it, honestly, because this topic really pissed me off when I found out about it yesterday. There was a report circling around NBA Twitter that the Detroit Pistons were considering taking Jalen Green or even Evan Mobley over Cade Cunningham. Now, I tried to calm myself down before I threw things through the window. But the question here is, what would your reaction be if the Detroit Pistons drafted anybody but Cade Cunningham with the #1 overall pick? Jeff, I'll start with you.
You've seen the memes over the last couple of days. The videos of guys freaking out, throwing tantrums. That would be me, Adam, because, as you watch any analyst speak about Cade Cunningham and the class coming in, he is the clear-cut #1 prospect. If you're that sure that the drop-off between #1 and #2 isn't that significant, then go ahead, make a deal. There's Boston Celtics, great example, had the #1 pick traded down to #3, acquired assets and got the better player. But this is a different situation. Cade Cunningham has little to no weaknesses, and compared to the other two, they all 3 can be dynamic. Adam, that's what people don't have aren't understanding. They can all 3 be great, but Cade is the #1 prospect. So if they didn't take him, I think #1, if he turns out to be a fantastic player, they're going to live with regret. I mean, this is going to be another Darko Milicic situation. At least he'll be better than Darko, but you don't want to mess it up, Adam. You want to get the best player and figure it out later.
Well, I'll start with this, and then I'm going to pass it over to Eazy. Evan Mobley, and even more so Jalen Green, have that intangible prospect. You don't know what they could be. With Cade, you have a really good idea of what he's going to be, and for me, it's going to be very difficult to see the Pistons passing on a 2-guard. You don't pass on a guard who can shoot the ball. It's unheard of, especially when you're the Detroit Pistons and you've drafted people like Luke Kennard in the last 10 years. So, Eazy, how would you react?
Why gotta remind me about Luke Kennard, man?
Because you guys need to understand the shit that has happened to the city.
No, yeah.
You guys need to understand the constant disappointment of drafting people that nobody even knew who. Guys, do I have to remind you of Stanley Johnson?
No, I was gonna say, like when Sean and Maz give us shit about like freaking out about us getting the #1 pick. Well, guess what? This is the first superstar of our generation that we're old enough to watch of the Detroit Pistons franchise. We didn't get to witness Grant Hill do all the sweet shit. We were kids. You know what I'm saying? He was really the last true superstar. It's always been a team effort from the Pistons, even when we were good. So this is why we're freaking out. Cade Cunningham is that superstar for the Pistons. It's like some political party planted Troy Weaver here to incite the riots again. What the fuck's going on? Why would we trade this pick?
Well, I think the trading the pick is all smoke. I don't think it's real.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, obviously, if you get 10 first-round picks and 2 all-star players, I mean, you got to consider it at least.
Yeah.
But no, you don't pass the opportunity to draft a potential superstar. When you have them, you're an automatic contender for the next 10 to 12 years. It's why that top bar at the top of the screen says Cade or Riot. I will be down at the LCA with a pitchfork. I will be such an asshole for the rest of my life if the Detroit Pistons don't draft Cade Cunningham.
I know Dwayne and Troy can feel the pressure. When we had Dwayne on in the studio, I mean, we want Cade on the back screen. I mean, the guy, it's not just us.
By you, by the way.
It's not just us. I'm sure Troy and Dwayne, I mean, they're not on social media much, but they hear it. I mean, there's reports, like Adam said, it's almost blowing smoke. They're deciding between 3 players. And that might be to entice trade offers, but they might like 3 players, but come on.
You can like 3 players, and you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if Mobley, Green, even Suggs all turned out to be all-stars. Regardless of the fact, you don't pass on a guard. You don't have a guard on your team right now. You have Jeremy Grant playing the 3 right now. You have Killian Hayes, who's still developing. You don't have a go-to star guard. Do I have to remind people how important having a ball-handling star guard is? Look at the Bucks. Look at the Bucks. Chris freaking Middleton hit constant late jump shots that absolutely changed the game. Devin Booker, same thing.
Well,
you need a two-guard. Now, granted, the league has pivoted into this stretch wing, where these players are just coming out 6'8" but can handle the ball. But there's nobody in that draft, and that's probably going to be Jalen Green. But you don't pass on a two-guard. I would absolutely freak out. I would unpack everything from my home. I would live outside the LCA for the next 2 years, constantly berating the Pistons organization. That's what I would do.
Well, for me, it's not even the fact that he's the guard. It's the wing thing that he says. Cade Cunningham, 6'8". You have a guard that's 6'8". That's essentially been the recipe the last couple of years. You look at guys like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he's the freak for a reason. I'm not really comparing too much to him, but that's been the recipe. If you look at the past NBA Finals, even look at how great of a guard Steph Curry is, but he's never been the guy to lead them to the victory. It's always been another in the finals. Regular season, he has big playoff games, but he doesn't have a single finals MVP.
He was robbed of that finals MVP, but this is not a Steph Curry conversation.
Just go on.
It's just you have a guy that's 6'8". He plays defense, and the most important thing to me with Cade is you could draft Jalen Green and you're gonna get highlights. With Cade, I feel like the result of drafting him is wins. He's a Luka Doncic type, LeBron type, where he's gonna open opportunities up for other guys on your team. And guess what? We have promising other guys on our team. We have Sadiq Bey, Killian Hayes, Isaiah Stewart. He's the guy.
If the NBA has taught us anything, it's that you don't need to be a freak athlete to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, granted, LeBron is a once-in-a-generation specimen, but you look at your Russell Westbrooks, your Derrick Roses. One, they don't last in the league that long. If they can't shoot the ball, you're not going to translate. Look what Chris Paul did to his body in his game. He developed a jump shot similar to LeBron James did.
Right.
You need to be able to shoot the ball. Cade Cunningham is the most pure shooter coming out of this draft class. It's not even a debate. Yes, he looks a little slow, but you know what else looks a little slow? Luka Doncic. Dude puts up a 30-point triple-double almost every other night.
Right.
And carry the Mavericks to the playoffs this season. So I don't understand the logic. I think it's all smoke. I think it's all pre-draft hype. I think the Pistons in the end will make the decision to draft Cade.
Yeah.
But having said that, you will see a side of me I don't want people to see.
And wait, real quick. I just want to add this. If you don't want to believe us, believe Mike Schmitz, respected NBA scout. He does all these analysts on YouTube all the time, and he says, I believe Jalen Green will one day lead the league in scoring, but Cade is still the number one prospect. You could say both can be true. You can have a guy who's going to be good, but a guy who has zero flaws. He said, and I quote, I would take Cade number one 10 out of 10 times. That's what he said. So, hey, man. Trust the scouts, and obviously the fans are speaking, so hopefully Troy and Dwayne get that message through their head, and we'll have a good weekend.
Easy?
I was going to say, it could be how Stevie Y is kind of mind-fucking the other GMs around the league? It could be the same, similar situation with Troy Weaver, though.
For sure.
Where he's just kind of prying these organizations just to see what they're willing to give up for later on in the year. Because we all know he likes to trade. He likes to make moves. And maybe he's just seeing, what may be available come later on in the year at some other point in this draft. Because don't forget, we have tons of second-round picks as well.
Yeah, we have 37, 42, and 52. So we got three. But speaking of the enticing offers, speaking of his old organization, Oklahoma City offered us Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the 6th overall pick, I believe, or 4th or 6th, whatever pick they have, and he declined it. But it's
good. I wouldn't trade Fish for Alexander. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that number one pick, and it's
you don't trade the number one pick. It's absolutely insane. Outside of Anthony Bennett, that was probably the worst number one overall pick in my life.
Blows my mind.
Regardless, I think Cade is the clear one. I think it's not that he's just the clear one. He's the perfect fit for what the Detroit Pistons need. You have a point guard in Killian Hayes. You have a ball handling two guard potentially in Cade Cunningham. You have your Jeremy Grant who can also handle the ball. You have Isaiah Stewart at the 5. This team is going to work out. You have Sadiq Bey, whether he comes off the bench or you move Grant to the 4 and Bey to the 3. The Pistons have a lot of options. When Casey was here, the guys did a great job asking him questions on that potential lineup. It is a very versatile lineup. So, again, it's very difficult for me to see the Pistons passing on Cade. Having said that, I will freak the hell out. Not because I think Cade is X amount better than Jalen Green as a prospect or any of these guys, but the pick makes sense.
He's a sure bet.
Don't overthink shit. Just don't. You overthink shit, you're going to be like the Lions. 6 years of crap. So do us a favor. Don't do it. Please. Thank you.
10-7.
I hate you, Fish. Fish, if I could mute your mic, I would. 10-7.
Oh,
We'll get into this later.
Yeah, keep that energy, Fish. You gotta keep
I
that
just say
energy.
after being
You
positive
can
energy,
defend art.
what I actually think, they're going to get 6 wins. I bumped it up from 5. So
We'll get there, Fish. Listen, I
I
gotta
want positive
mention a
10-7.
comment on the YouTube regarding Russell Westbrook as the best player in the league. Harrison, shut the hell up, man. I don't need this. It's 8 in the morning. I haven't even gotten through my coffee yet. We're not gonna talk about Russell Westbrook.
Leave him out of this.
Having said that, I got to tell you about our friends over at MyBookie. Guys, I haven't been doing bets lately. Obviously, I've been very busy, but MyBookie is your place to go. I'm still betting on the side. I'm having a good time. Use the code Woodward. We'll match up to 50% of your deposit. It's a great deal. And honestly, they're great people. It's easy to bet. Their lines are actually hilarious sometimes. Like the Jared Goff prop bet is probably one of my favorite bets of the entire season. I can't wait to bet it. And we're actually going to discuss over-unders for certain Lions players later on in the show. So I'm very, very intrigued. Guys, visit mybookie.com. Sign up. Use code Woodward. We'll match up to 50% of your deposit. And just win money. You can DM me if you want bets. I don't mind. I'll do my best to reach them out. But just listen to me. You'll make money. It's not difficult. But having said that, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be right back after this break.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Well, Fish had to piss me off and mention that the Lions were going to win 10 games this year, which I think is absolutely impossible. But it is a conversation I do want to have with you guys. And the topic is, will Dan Campbell and his culture shift and this team unity that he's brought to the Detroit Lions, will it be enough for the Detroit Lions to make the playoffs? Will he restore the roar, as people love to say, and people like Art and Crackhead or Crackman, whatever they call him? Will Dan Campbell's culture shift be enough to get the Lions into the postseason? Eazy, I'm going to start with you.
This year?
This year.
Playoffs? No. I respect Dan Campbell. I respect Brad Holmes. I respect everything that they're trying to with the culture shift, everything they're trying to change and get going with this organization. We have a new face at the quarterback position. A lot of new faces all around the team, to be honest with you. But that's part of the reason why this may not be playoffs this year. On top of the fact, we just found out Aaron Rodgers is returning next year or this year as well. It sounds like Devontae Adams is going to be there with him as well. So it's not this year, guys. I mean, let's be realistic about it. We don't know what this team's going to be. We can be hopeful for all these things to come true this year, but we can't speak on it with certainty that it's going to turn around in 1 year. It's just, especially with I'm going to be honest with you. The thing for me that I don't see it with is Jared Goff. I would love for him to be great, and I hope I'm wrong on this, but I've never seen anything out of him, even when he was with the Rams, that made me think he was worth the #1 overall pick in the draft. One that they even traded up for. It kind of blew my mind, man. But hopefully, he's a system-type guy. I mean, Brady's never been one to, wow you with his actual skill set, but he wins games, so maybe that's Goff's role, and that's what he maybe was going to be in this league. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think this year playoffs. No, I think that's insane.
Jeff, I'm going to turn it to you, but before I do, to go on Easy's point, you don't have to be the most athletic or the most dynamic quarterback to win. Tom Brady obviously is a clear example, but you can even look at a Jared Goff. He doesn't do anything overwhelmingly special. He's not overwhelmingly great in arm talent or accuracy or mobility. It's really not that. I always like to use this point. There's something mentally that differentiates the good people from the greater. And that little spark in your head is why Aaron Rodgers, who is probably the most talented quarterback I've ever watched, has only been to 1 Super Bowl and only won 1 Super Bowl. And Tom Brady has been to God knows how many, 10, I believe, and won 7. There's just that little something that is the reason why Aaron Rodgers, for example, is 0-34, I believe, going into the 4th quarter, down against winning teams, and Tom Brady is one of the best ever. But it's those small things that make all the difference. But Jeff, Will Dan Campbell be able to deliver on the playoffs year one with this Detroit Lions roster?
Playoffs is tough. I mean, I know this. It's a great start. When Dan comes in with Brad Holmes, the culture shift is everything. You want to establish, what you're going to be as an organization, and obviously anything from what we were is going up. So I think it's a great start, but it's also Brad Holmes' job to surround him with talent. I think we got to also take that into consideration. It's Dan Holmes on the field, and then or Dan Campbell on the field, sorry, and then Brad Holmes in the front office. They're going to have to work as a team, but year one in the playoffs, it's just not likely, especially if you look at Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams coming back. The division isn't going anywhere. The Bears, probably the team I feel we can beat. But other than that, we don't have a lot of talent. And like you said, Jared Goff, he's great, but we haven't seen him away from a catered organization with a great offensive mind and a lot of talent around him. He's coming to a team with less talent, a coach who is coaching in his first year as a head coach, a lot of uncertainties. And to say the playoffs, especially for an organization who for the last 12 years with our other quarterback, 15 years, we couldn't get a playoff win, I wouldn't be too hopeful. But it's a great start because you want to be able to develop these players, like Dan Campbell, developing these young guys, getting a culture in, and all these. He has a great staff. I love the staff the guy has. So if he can get all these guys to work collectively, you never know. But year one, unlikely.
I'm going to address every Detroit Lions fans as openly and honestly as I can be. Let's start with the wide receiving core. So everybody wants to discuss Jared Goff. Jared Goff has Brashad Perriman, Quintez Cephas, and Tyrell Williams as his wide receiving core this upcoming season. Yes, he has Hawkinson, but really? We're going to judge a rookie head coach and a quarterback in his first year with the team with that
right
talent surrounding him. It's not going to happen. Look, the Lions have the 6th hardest schedule this upcoming season. I have 3 games circled that I think are sure locks. I think Thanksgiving, Dan Campbell's going to win that game. That's probably his most important game of the year, is to win on Thanksgiving and not let all of Detroit go home and eat turkey pissed off. That'd be a great start, Dan. Outside of that, the Eagles, they have a bye week after the Eagles, and then they play the Steelers. I think those 2 games are winnable games. I think that 3-week stretch will be a very good period for Detroit this season. But they're going to win 4, 5, maybe 6 games. Guys, they're not winning 10 games. It's actually impossible. It's not going to happen. They open up against San Francisco. Then they play Monday night with the Green Bay Packers, who, by the way, Aaron Rodgers is going to play. If you didn't think he was going to play, honestly, I think you live under a rock. They're paying him $35 million. If you think Fish isn't showing up to work for $35 million, you're out of your mind. And even if he didn't show up, he would have to pay them back $20 million. He was always going to play. And let's move on to week 3. What do you know? Who's waiting for you? Oh, I don't know. The Baltimore Ravens. Let's see. The Detroit Lions, do they have a history of stopping the run? Because last I checked, they couldn't stop Fish if he was in the backfield. So no, guys, they're not going to win 10 games. They're in a rebuild. Trust the rebuild process. Be a part of it. Enjoy it. Let's look for Jeff Okudah. Let's look for DeAndre Swift to develop. Let's look at the offensive line to finish maybe top 8 in offensive line rankings. That would be ideal. Honestly, I would love to see the team show up with 11 men on the field. That's a great goddamn start. That's all I'm asking for.
Right.
So that's where I'm at. They're not winning 10 games. They're not going to the playoffs this year, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to put playoff expectations on a rookie head coach. It's absurd, and you're setting him up to fail. Easy?
No, I agree. It's absurd. You're going to be extremely disappointed if you're really looking for like a 10-7 season out of these guys. I guarantee you grab a lot of these 10-7 slappies off the street that couldn't name you the wide receiving core. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts. What I'm looking for out of them this year is something similar to what we've seen out of the Pistons. I just want to see them compete. I want to see them end games. Will we ultimately lose because we don't have it all together? Most likely, yeah. But I just want to see that we're able to compete with these guys, and eventually, we'll get the next step and get over the hump and win these games.
No, I think that's a great point. Just what you want to see this year. I mean, any fan should want just be competitive. And just see improvement. Obviously, Adam just brought up we can't stop the run. I mean, we've known that. Our defense has been atrocious ever since Matty P was here. And it's just, you want to see improvement on the defensive side of the ball, but you want to look at Jared Goff and you want to look at the improvement of DeAndre Swift. There's a lot of things you want to see this year and just see how, players individually are doing. But like Adam said, if you're looking for 10-7, you're crazy. It's unlikely, man. Especially with the schedule, like 6 hardest in the league and a rookie head coach, like everything just has to click all at once.
I'm not used to working with reasonable people, so this has actually surprised me with both of your opinions. But to follow up on this Dan Campbell year 1 playoff question, what will it take for Dan Campbell to be a success in your eyes year one? Eazy, I'm going to start with you.
Year one.
Are you going to base it on wins? Are you going to base it on coaching ability? Are you going to look for how they do in the 2-minute offense? What are you looking for? If there were two things you had to look for this season to measure Dan Campbell, what would it be?
I don't want to see the Lions get blown out. I don't want to see what happened against Tampa Bay and Tom Brady.
We'll get ready.
I don't want to see what happened against the Texans on Thanksgiving. I don't want to see games like that. I don't want to see these guys quit on the coach or the team. The most important thing I guess I want to see improvement in is honestly
10-7.
the defense. Just because we were so terrible last year at the defensive side of the ball. Offense, I'm not expecting much. I'm really just looking to be competitive, man. It's tough to like pinpoint one thing just because we've been bad everywhere. For him to prove though that he's a good coach is just show they're competitive. Don't let a team score 50 fucking points on you. How many points did Tampa Bay score on us?
42, I believe.
42. Don't let that happen, and not be at least a touchdown behind that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for. Just compete. Be competitive.
All right, Jeff. Eazy wants them to compete, be competitive, and improve on defense. Eazy, I have great news for you. It is statistically impossible to be any worse than last season on defense, so they will be better. So you don't have to worry about that. But Jeff, what is it going to take for Dan Campbell to not just win your heart, but hey, year one success? I know it didn't translate all the wins, but what are you looking for out of Dan Campbell year one?
I want to see improvement of the young players, number one, because guys like Jeff Okudah coming off a bad season, DeAndre Swift being eased into his role. Like, if these guys really take off and progress, you can look at Dan and say, wow, the guy, not only does he know his stuff, but he's a motivator. He gets guys going. So I'm going to look for individual players, especially the guys we drafted this year. A lot of, Penny Sewell. I want to see how our offensive line is, our defensive line, stuff like that. Just the young players improving. But the second thing is, like, it sounds weird to say this, but I'm interested to see this team when they're losing. Like, I want to see their attitude. I want to see how Dan responds to his team. Like, I want to see how these players like rally around that, because you can see especially with Matt Patricia, as soon as it went downhill, the team went off the rails. So that's one thing I'm really looking to see, because it's not going to be a great season. We know that. So it's just, I want to see how the player now, how the team reacts, and if they have that, hey, we're going to bounce back, we're going to keep working hard attitude, because it's really the culture. That's the main thing, Adam. It's building the culture, and that rest will just take care of itself. So,
actually, can I add one more thing? Actually, I apologize. I want to see these young guys in the field. That's what Brad Holmes is known for, right? Finding these diamonds in the rough. When he was in LA, that's what he was credited for. When people were trying to convince you that he was the guy here, I want to see that here. I want to see the guys we picked late. I want to see Barnes on the field at the linebacker position. I want to see these two defensive tackles we took back to back. I want to see them be productive, or on the field at least. You know what I'm saying? Like give me some faith there, because that's what we were sold on him with, is his ability to find these guys late. And let's see that. Okay,
well, here's where I'm going to start. Ideally, Dan Campbell year one improves not all. I'm going to agree with both of you. The young talent needs to be much better than what it's been. It's been horrendous. Jeff Okudah was the number 3 overall pick. Like, we set him up for failure by drafting him that high.
Yeah.
But I think if he turns out to be a top 8 corner, I think that's okay. He'll never live up to the number 3 overall pick. I think that's unfair, so I'm not going to compare him to that. But
agree.
I got to see the young prospects play. They got to play. They got to do well. And the most important thing for me, outside of winning, and you already touched on it, Jeff, is attitude. What is going to be our attitude this year when we're ahead and when we're down? Are we going to be lackadaisical? Are we going to be unfocused when we're up, and then we're going to blow a 14-point lead to the Chicago Bears in Week 1? Or are we going to fight literally minute 1 to the final minute? Are we going to fight every single play? Are we going to make every snap count? This is like, I'll use baseball as an analogy. You don't waste your at-bats. You don't. Even if you're down 15-0, you walk up there, you take your pitches, you take bad pitches, you swing at good pitches, and it's that simple. And you make good contact you make a good contact swing. You don't just throw it in because you're losing. So I think that is probably the thing I'm looking most forward to, because I think Dan Campbell's culture is actually contagious. I think it will benefit the team. I don't think they can be worse than last season. So I think that's already a wrap. But Fish, I'm going to give you a chance to tell me what you think the Detroit Lions will be year 1 under Dan Campbell. I know you're part of this Art Limo saga. I haven't been paying too much attention, but I know you're all on drugs. So I'm going to give you like a minute to defend yourself. So floor is yours, Fish.
Well, they have a new team. They have a bunch of players that want to win, and they have several people that have come out and said that they may compete for the playoffs. Jared Goff, he's been not too good over the past 2 or 3 years, but what did he go to? What did he take their team to?
The playoffs.
And
I mean, they have the defensive player of the year in Aaron Donald.
The Super Bowl is where they took them.
Yes.
Now, they didn't win it, but at least he has a few playoff wins, and he got their team to the Super Bowl.
I think that argument would work if we were
So-
discussing. That argument would work if the team was ready to compete now. It doesn't work
Well,
now because the team is ready to
players say
lose.
they are ready to compete. Jared Goff slinging them off, and they're going to make it to the Super Bowl.
So you're
Playoffs,
betting
10-7.
your gamble is Jared Goff. That's your 10-7 is Jared Goff.
Well, Jared Goff's going to do a lot better than you guys give him credit for.
Well, here, let me address Jared Goff real quick, and easy, I'll give it to you after. Jared Goff will be a very good quarterback for the Detroit Lions. I don't think he could be any worse than Matthew Stafford was, considering how turnover-prone Stafford was, especially in the last 2 seasons he was with the Detroit Lions. Having said that, Jared Goff, if you have any expectations for Jared Goff this year, it's actually unfair. Look at his wide receiving core. Yes, he has a good O-line. Yes, he could have a potentially very good run game. But when you're playing down, which the Lions will be doing a lot of this season, you're not going to have time to give the ball to DeAndre Swift, give the ball to Jamal Williams. Hawk is going to be double-teamed half the time. Tyrell Williams is only going to run deep routes majority of the time. He's your deep threat. Bashard Perriman will be your third down wide receiver. You don't know what you're getting out of Cephas. So to even judge Goff year one, I think is unfair from every Detroit Lions fan. I think it's actually you're doing yourself a disservice, because year 2 is when you're going to see, can this guy put everything together? Because I think by the second year, Brad Holmes would have surrounded him with adequate talent. Easy?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's to judge Jared Goff, you have to look at the rest of his team. Like I said earlier, if you grabbed anybody off the street, they'd struggle to name this wide receiving core. They're all new faces. They're all inexperienced. They've all yet to prove anything. So for Goff to be your answer, sure, I'll give you that. But if you had something to work with, that's the other piece of it. You know what I'm saying? It's a team effort, and he doesn't really have a proven wide receiver core. I don't want to say they're bad. I don't want to say they're incompetent or anything
They're
like
bad.
that. I'll just say they're unproven.
They're bad.
You
They're
won't be
fairly
saying
young.
that when they start 3-0.
Fish, if they start 3-0, honestly, I would consider, I would be you and Art's slave if they started 3-0. Anything
They'll-
you guys would ask for. I would refinance my house and give you all the money from it.
Clip it.
They should beat the 49ers.
They're not
Yeah,
going to beat the
clip it.
You don't think-
49ers. They're not going to beat
Lions
the
are at
Packers,
home.
and they're not
Lions are
going to beat
home.
the Ravens.
Lions are at home against the 49ers,
And hold on, Fish.
who, by the way, 49ers did not make the playoffs.
Fish,
last
the
year.
Lions have been one of the worst home teams in the last 5 years.
I realize that, but this is a new team. This is a new team.
I love you, Fish. I love the spirit, but I'm gonna
a new
ask
team.
you to
They'll
tell
beat the
everybody at home.
49ers.
I'm gonna ask you to tell everybody at home about
Beat
Northwestern
the
Tech,
49ers.
please.
I will do that, but they beat the 49ers. They will play the Packers close. They may not win against the Packers, but they will play them very close.
I feel like half our
In Green
receivers are
Bay.
from Northwestern Tech.
Honestly, it looks that way.
And they will possibly
Fish, tell
beat the
everybody about
Ravens.
Northwestern Tech so we can move on, please.
All right. Well, 10-7 Lions. If you want to be like the 10-7 Lions, you can take a 10-month program to Northwestern Tech. You like that segue, Adam? Start a new career in
I
an
hate
industry
it.
that always is essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. We'll be right back on the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome
There you
to the
go,
Call
Fish.
Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom Team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Good morning, everyone.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Let's get into Joey's news. Let's go.
On today, we have Joey's news, but this is a special edition. It's Jeff's news today, filling in for my guy Joey. But we start this off in Tokyo for the Olympics. And listen, man, Tokyo is ahead of their time with most stuff. And this is getting ridiculous. Check out these robots they got. They got shooting basketballs for them. And we got to get some of these in America, guys. I don't know. You could probably, if the NBA players opt out, you could just use this. And,
how dope would it be if you could like control them and like play against like your boy, it'd be like real life 2K.
Yeah, honestly, like these, they have them shooting half court shots, 3-point shots, all robotic, completely made. And I'm like, number one, what's the point of that? May I ask? Like, I guess just playing basketball is not normal anymore. But the second video, listen, Davante Adams, I think we can all collectively agree he is probably the best wide receiver in the league right now, and Madden just confirmed it as well. So they made him 99 overall, and they released their little promo video for him, and I think deservingly so. You guys agree?
Yeah.
Arguable. Adam looks like he's.
I'm not a big fan of like putting guys 99 because like when I think of a 99, I think of Calvin Johnson. And no, all due respect to Davante Adams, he's not Calvin Johnson. Like it's just like the 99 thing is just like it's
a game.
Too much.
It's a game. I don't give a shit.
Adam's like, I'm over this.
It's a video game.
Over this.
Yeah. I don't give a shit.
And on to the next video. Listen, Giannis, he's always gotten stuff in the past, like crap in the past for traveling or taking too many steps. But he had a basketball camp and he explained to the children how to properly take steps. Check this
Travel.
out. He said as long as the ball's in the air, you can take as many steps as you want. It's not a travel. It looks a little sus. I mean, you guys can
It's
tell
not,
me.
though.
He
It's
made a
not a
little sense
travel.
there,
That's
yeah.
actually not a travel.
The ball's in
that
the
makes
air, so
sense.
he's fine. But it looks sus when he does it in game. Like I can see how a ref would
Well, it's
call
such
that.
high speed. But that's why traveling isn't even called as much, because it's so impossible for the refs to even make that call, let alone that decision in real time. It's actually impossible. You would literally need instant replay every time down the court to actually consider it a travel. They only do it when it's blatantly obvious. But when Giannis or Harden or any of these guys do that Euro step where they'll dribble the ball, they'll take a few steps, then they'll finish their Euro. I mean, that is so difficult to call. I don't blame referees for even calling it.
And hey, credit to the Greek Freak for finding it out, because got him a championship. So, but moving on. Listen, the Tigers played yesterday. They lost a tough game to the Minnesota Twins, and Miguel Cabrera, shines some light with a 2-run homer. He hits his 495th home run. He's 5 away from 500, and if he hits 500, he'd be the 20th player in MLB history to reach 500. So that's a pretty good accomplishment for our guy Miguel. But check this out.
Looks like David Ortiz is pitching.
I thought the same thing.
Fly ball
It
deep
looks exactly
right
like him.
field. That ball
Man,
is
it's nice
gone.
to see.
Vintage Mickey.
Yeah, vintage.
No doubter, opposite field, not bad. Still looks out of shape. He's been out of shape for 10 years. But that's okay.
Even when he's running.
When do you think he'll hit 500? Like when? Like you think?
I hope before I
September?
die. I hope before I die, but ideally this season. I mean, he hits a home run every 100, not 100, but probably 70, 80 at bats. So it's taking forever, man.
And listen, it was 395 feet. Someone confirmed almost 400 feet. So he's launching bombs out there. But the next video, we got Shohei Ohtani. We're moving in baseball. He hits a ground ball to first base and beat the first baseman there. And they actually timed his speed. He was going 30 feet per second. Check out this clip of how fast my guy was moving.
And struck him out.
Slaps it to first base. Look at, he beats the guy there.
But Francis there, and he
That's a pitcher, guys. That is a pitcher.
That's insane.
I want to know what his mom and dad fed him. And I'm going to feed that to my kids.
I know.
That is interesting.
You know how they made the robot to shoot threes? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what Shohei Ohtani is in baseball.
5-1 as a starter, leads the league in home runs. That is unreal.
He is built different.
The baseball robot.
But the next news we got. Hey, listen, the Pistons. We just talked about it earlier. Shopping the number one pick. Oklahoma City offered us Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the 6th overall pick, and Troy Weaver declined. Shai Gilgeous, he came from the LA Clippers. He's a talented point guard, and that's probably. A lot of people say if the Pistons are going to trade the pick, it's just going to have to be for a first or player, his name off the top of your head, and then also draft assets. But would Shai Gilgeous-Alexander be enough for you guys to get rid of the number one pick with the 6th overall?
I wouldn't do it if they offered me his salary. This is so dumb. You don't trade the number one overall pick ever. What could you possibly get for the number one overall pick outside of another team's trash, basically? It's like, hey, we're going to give you all of our picks. Here's a player that we like, but he's not going to be great. So And then we're going to have the potential to draft somebody who could be great. What are we doing?
Not to mention Shea, was on the Thunder. Where they end up? In the lottery, just like us. Like, I'm good.
That's a good point. But now we go to Paige in a second here. Fish is going to just mess with the camera. But, hey, listen, I'm going to give my opinion on this real quick. Honestly, I love Troy Weaver. I trust the guy. But his old organization was trying to give him a little, sweet him up. Because Sam Presti, he's also a good GM. He's like, listen, man, we'll give you the 6th overall pick. We'll give you our franchise point guard. And I'm glad Troy Weaver didn't take the bait because he has the potential to draft a guy who's going to be levels above Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And I have the confidence in the world in the man. So
it financially doesn't even make sense. Why would you give up? You're going to have to pay Shea in the next few years. You're going to have to pay him a max contract, more than likely, is what you're going to have to do. Why would you trade your number 1 overall pick where you get a rookie for a 5-year contract and then you can up him on a max? None of this makes sense. I think it's stupid. I'm almost dying because of how stupid it is.
All right, now we go to Paige from Central Michigan. What's up, Paige?
Fish, go ahead.
Fish, round
You're fine, buddy.
Whoa, what the hell? That was fast.
Yeah, who was that? Oh, my goodness.
Whoa.
It's the Flash.
So today we actually have some breaking news in gymnastics. We were actually sitting in our room over to our left, our conference room, and we looked up on the screen, and Simone Biles is actually out of the finals. So gymnastics is literally happening right now, so this is like breaking news. We don't know exactly what the injury is, but we do know that after she finished her vault, she had been walked off by her trainer, by her coach, and she left the area with the team doctor. Now her right leg was wrapped, so we know it's something in her leg, but we don't know exactly because there hasn't been a statement that was released. Now this actually stinks for U.S. gymnastics because the vault is their number 1 event, and they're now behind Russia, and that is their number 1 event. So this is really putting a damper on the U.S. gymnastics, and now that their number 1 player is no longer in the finals, this is really hurting for them. Now, in other Olympic news, at the men's Olympics triathlon yesterday, the starting gun for the event was fired, but there was a camera boat in front of a couple of the divers. If we want to look at this picture here, Alex, if you could put it up. The boat was literally in front of the divers. I can't play the video for you guys, but half of them lunged in, about a third of them lunged in, and the other half could not because the boat was literally in front of them. It was a camera boat. There must not have been communication between the cameras and whoever had to fire the first gun.
Who's the dipshit that even came up with that idea? That boat is making waves that is going to push against the divers.
Exactly. And now
what are we doing?
Once that actually happened, it created, like you said, waves, and they had to wait for everything to settle down because jet skis were going in to get the players, boats were going in and getting these triathlon players, and they had to wait for everything to calm down. It was 10 minutes later. So it was really quick, even though all these waves were created. But whoever it is, I saw a bunch of tweets. It was like, whoever fired off that gun is getting fired for sure. It's like they literally fired off the gun with the camera boat being right in front of it. And the fact that there was, like you said, a boat in front of them in the first place, I don't think camera angles are that important for triathlon.
More importantly, isn't the propeller in the water?
Exactly.
I'm not trying to get cut.
So you couldn't see it in the picture that we showed, but in the video, if you guys want to pull it up on your own time, the boat was in the middle, so there were people on both sides diving. So when they tried to back out, there were people behind it. And they were of course, when you're in your sports mode, they're probably just going ham trying to get to where they need to go, and they're not thinking about a boat being in front of them or behind them. So nobody got injured. I have the name here, Australian diver Jake Birtwistle. He got hit in the nose in this time, so when they had to restart, he had to do the triathlon with a broken nose because of this false start. Because so many people were like, what's going on, what's going on? So it stunk for him. He said that he would rather, not have had this false start, but then athlete Christian Blumenfeld, he won the event. And he said that the false start actually gave him an advantage because he was able to hit that dive and get his body warmed up for the actual event.
Wow.
So bottom line, don't park a boat near where people are going to.
Ideally.
Ideally.
The Olympics is definitely going to take this one, put this in their back pocket, make sure that this doesn't happen again in any other event, or at least I hope that they do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paige.
You're very welcome.
Should we just cut to my segment, or are we going to go?
Okay,
I
want to know what's trending with Jeff.
Okay. You know what? We're doing what's trending again on the big stage here, and I already did Joey's news. I'm doing what's trending with Jeff still, and listen, we got some good videos today. All right, the first one It's been trending for a couple days. You've seen it on some big networks, and it's my guy from the Savannah Bananas baseball. It's like a club in Georgia. He announces his own entrance walking into the game. It's just hilarious.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your hands together.
Please tell me he did something good after.
Yeah, he's doing the clap along and everything. He is the catcher for the team, by the way.
Please tell me you hit a home run after that.
Oh my gosh.
That is exactly what Sam would do
Yeah,
if he was playing.
And the mic throw at the end, like, take this mic. I'm not doing this. Yeah, they didn't show the rest of it, so he might have struck out, guys. He might have struck out.
Yeah, we gotta look that up.
Yeah, no, you got to see it. It's hilarious. Oh, the second video, I thought it was great. It's Kansas doing something great for a former player, World War II veteran who also played for Kansas. Got to come back to the field, got to break some ankles. Check this out. My man got a free run.
Rumbling, stumbling.
Hey, listen, if DeAndre Swift goes down, we know who to pick up. Number 28, look at him go.
Hey, I think the Rams are looking at this guy. Yeah. This is his workout tape.
Yeah, he's gonna, hey, he'll fill in for Cam Akers. Look at those legs. In end zone. Look at that, baby.
That's awesome.
Oh, God, gotta love it. That's going to be me when I'm 70, man. I swear to God. The third video, listen, we all go to arcades. We go to, CJ Barrymore's, Dave & Buster's, whatever. Pick your poison. We play the basketball games. And it's insanely hard to really, rack up points because it's not, the hoop is only 5 feet in front of you, but it's hard. And this kid made it look easy with a Steph Curry jersey on, might I add. This dude is automatic.
Well, that's what an NBA player looks like during practice.
Like, literally, this dude...
That's what Darko Milicic looked in his warm-up / training for the Detroit Pistons pre-draft.
That is true. Darko couldn't miss in the warm-ups, just like this kid. Look at him. Boom, boom, boom.
Jesus.
That high score... I mean, this guy...
Is that even fair?
No, it's not fair. The Curry jersey gives him superpowers. Definitely. But yeah, those are the videos today on What's Trending with Jeff.
Easy, is that what you do at the arcade?
No, but that kid slays.
Oh,
that kid
definitely.
gets mad notes in class.
All right, well, listen, guys. That was What's Trending with Jeff. Jeff, thank you so much. We're going to get back right after this commercial break. We have exciting news. Aaron Rodgers, well, not so exciting for Detroit Lions fans. Aaron Rodgers will be playing this upcoming season for the Green Bay Packers, but there are implications that may face the Green Bay Packers at the end of the season. We'll tell you what they are and how they may affect the Detroit Lions after this.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. I am joined by Jeff and Eazy this morning. Guys, Aaron Rodgers will be playing. That is a surefire. There is no doubt it's going to happen this upcoming season. But Davante Adams is on the last year of his deal. Aaron Rodgers looks like he might walk away if all doesn't play well with his GM. Having said that, come the end of this upcoming football season, if Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams are to walk away from the Green Bay Packers for good, how does this affect the Detroit Lions rebuild? Eazy, I'm going to start with you, buddy.
I mean, it's obviously in our favor. We've seen the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. They've never looked too great without him. It's really... See, I don't want to, base the Lions rebuild off what the Packers do. You know what I'm saying? I just want us to be great without any other, excuse for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want, that 1 year when Jim Caldwell and the guys went to the playoffs and the excuse was that all the teams they beat, none of them were above 500 and whatnot. And then we lost to Seattle in the playoffs. It's obviously going to be good for us if Aaron Rodgers isn't there, but I just want us to be great. I don't want that to be the reason why. How it affects us in the future?
I'll tell you what,
just wins, really.
it immensely speeds up the rebuild process. Because you look at Minnesota, they have Kirk Cousins. I'm not worried too much about Kirk Cousins as a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers will be gone. That means Jordan Love. We don't even know if Jordan Love can play. So
Right.
you're already looking at Jared Goff being the better matchup between those two teams. And then you look to the Bears. Did they finally get it right with Justin Fields? We'll see. And if they didn't, the Lions will have the best quarterback in the division for the start of the 2022 season. They'll be going in with an above-average roster. Hopefully they improved in the free agency in the upcoming draft class. I think it totally changes their rebuild. I think instead of a 2 to 3 year rebuild, I think by year 2 for Dan Campbell, they're division contenders. It's not even a question. Jeff?
I'll start with what it means for our rebuild. It definitely speeds things up. I mean, we talk about it all the time here. I mean, I'll talk with Sean Baligian, stuff like that. You have a good year or two before things get off the ground, and we know this. So if you're looking at a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who, they're going to have a last dance. They're going to, come together one last time, see what they can do. But when Davante Adams' contract expires and Aaron's expires, they're going to be able to, choose where they want to go and possibly go somewhere together. And that's fine with me, because once those two leave the division, like you said, Jordan Love, don't even know if the kid could play. We heard rumors already when he touched training camp last year or this year. It was not good. So listen, I think it's good because around our division, like if you look at the Minnesota Vikings, like you said, Kirk Cousins, I'll take that in 2 years, a year or two, because the Lions aren't going to be good this year. We have to stop planning for this year. We have to start planning for, next year or the year after that. And it starts with this. It starts with when Aaron leaves the Packers. The division opens wide up, and I'm excited for it. And I think it's definitely positive because they're clearly a good team offensively, the Packers. And they feel like they have one more shot, and it's good because we're not expecting much this year. So if we were expecting to go to the playoffs, I'd be worried. But it's not a big deal, Adam. I see them just speeding up our rebuild, like you said, and giving us a chance next year to swoop right into the playoffs if Aaron and Davante aren't here.
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, it just means more wins. I'd rather see, like I said, I'd rather see us beat Green Bay with Rodgers and Adams, because that just tells me that Dan Campbell's the guy. You know what I'm saying? It's really all it equates to is possibly more wins. It's not really much other than that.
I think it significantly worsens the division. The division becomes so much worse if the Packers aren't great, because the Packers have been great for the last 25 years. Why? Because they figured out the quarterback position. They transitioned from Favre to Aaron Rodgers, and they haven't blinked once.
But it's a good thing, The division gets weaker. It's good for us.
Exactly. So the division automatically gets weaker. You're looking at a much easier division to get through. Now you're looking at the NFC East, basically, is what the NFC North will turn into if Aaron Rodgers leaves. That's exactly what you're looking at. Now, I do agree, Eazy. You want the Lions to be great. You don't want them winning the division the way the Washington football team did last season. That's not how you want your team to go out.
Fumbled in the first.
You just don't want that. But Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams walking away potentially at the end of the year, I think changes the landscape of the NFC and especially the NFC North. I mean, this makes the Lions division contenders instantly, and they didn't even have to get better just because the Packers will be so much less without those two. Having said that, I don't think Aaron Rodgers will walk away. I think they're going to re-up him. They're probably going to give him an extension, make him the highest paid player in the NFL. Whether or not Davante Adams sticks, we'll see. Paying a wide receiver that amount of money is very difficult to do in this league. It is not a wide receivers league. It is definitely a quarterback league. So you can pay your quarterback, but that does come with a price. The team around him may not be as good unless you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you just know how to funnel with the salary cap. Having said that, the last question I'm going to ask both of you. If you were to take one of the two going forward, would it be Aaron Rodgers or Davante Adams? Jeff, I'm going to start with you.
Aaron Rodgers. Give me Aaron Rodgers, because Davante Adams is great, but like you said, you could figure the wide receiver situation. If you put Aaron Rodgers with anybody else, that's great. I think you'll be fine, and we could find that throughout the league. Aaron is for sure. Like, you could take Davante, but your question is, how would Goff and Davante? What's Goff's ceiling? He's gotten to the Super Bowl, but like you said, Aaron, not very good when he doesn't have a lead in the fourth quarter. Or when he does have a lead, both ways. But I don't know. I would take the quarterback. I think Aaron would bring success quicker for us. But Davante Adams is always intriguing. The guy is the best wide receiver in the league. So I don't think you can go wrong. But I'm going Aaron just simply because I have confidence in him.
Easy.
He's the reigning offensive MVP. The answer is Aaron Rodgers all day. How many of these great receivers do we see on teams yet they don't even make the playoffs? Hell, we had Calvin Johnson for years, and we've seen 0 playoff wins. Give me Aaron Rodgers all day, 10 times out of 10. He's a bad man, just like Stephen A. Smith said. And even with him aging, I know you don't have him ranked over Tom Brady, but like I said, he won the MVP last year off spite, just because he was pissed off at the Packers for drafting Jordan Love. Like, he's a bad man, and I'd rather have a chance at winning the big one versus just some flashy plays with Devontae Adams.
Well,
Again,
I'll
no
tell you
disrespect.
I'll tell you what. You don't have a chance at the big game with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback because he's never delivered in the big games. Five NFC championships. Yes, his first Super Bowl, he had Clay Matthews and a star-studded defense. Do I have to remind you, Charles Woodson as well? They were a very good team. They came in as I believe, a wild card team, and then they progressed. All of Aaron Rodgers' career has been summed up by one thing: a disappointment at the end of the season. Now, have they been amazing in the regular season? I mean, he really reminds me a lot of Peyton Manning's career. So much regular season success, so many MVPs, the talent around him, his ability to throw the ball, maneuver, change the plays up at the line of scrimmage. He's such an amazing quarterback. But for me, I'm taking Devontae Adams.
What?
Why would I take Aaron Rodgers when I already have Jared Goff, who has proven if you put the right pieces around him, he can help your team actually win football games. Even with a torn ligament in his thumb last season, he won a playoff game. Something Detroit Lions quarterbacks have no history of doing in the last 30 years. Having said that, I'd rather have a 28-year-old Devontae Adams. It immensely improves my wide receiving core. It's one less problem I have to worry about. I already have an offensive line. I have a potential run game. Everything falls into place putting Devontae Adams in right now. If I put Aaron Rodgers in, I'm just going to get him killed, honestly, the same way I'm getting Jared Goff killed right now because he doesn't have weapons to throw to. And why would I want to take a quarterback who, unless we're winning, which the Lions have zero history of doing, unless I'm ahead and I am absolutely dominating the football game, this guy, Aaron Rodgers, is the perfect quarterback if everything is going great. And the roses are coming up every morning. The sun is shining. Everybody feels good. Breakfast was made on time. You're having breakfast in bed. Everything's great when Aaron Rodgers and everything is going great and he's your quarterback. But you know what? When shit hits the fan, which it does most of the time in the NFL and games are very difficult to win, and you need somebody to step up, you know what? I don't want Aaron Rodgers to be that quarterback. I don't expect things to come easy to the Detroit Lions, especially with the way the refereeing has been over the last 10 years. So, excuse me, if I'm not going to take the guy who, if I don't pat him on the shoulder correctly, he may go host Jeopardy and not come back for 3 months. So, no, I'm taking Devontae Adams. It's not even a question. Yes, it's a quarterback league, and I can't disagree with that. But in the current state of the Detroit Lions, I would rather have Devontae Adams. He solves my wide receiving core issue. It actually brings more out of Cephas. It brings more out of Perriman. It brings more out of Tyrell Williams. Now you have a deep threat. You have a guy, Hawkinson. You can't double anybody, guys. Like, this is, schematically, this is the better move for the Detroit Lions. I don't want to... Look, quarterbacks can now play into their 40s, apparently, allegedly, with all this health stuff. So Aaron Rodgers, I don't even know if he wants to play, guys. He's that emotionally untrusting of a guy. I can't trust that Aaron Rodgers is going to commit to me for the next 3 seasons, especially for the Detroit Lions. So I'm taking Devontae Adams. I will pay him adequately to keep him. And I think that instantly makes the Lions so much better than putting Aaron Rodgers on the team. I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers has his limitations. Jeff?
And let me say this too, because obviously we talk about the Lions this year. Their problem is the wide receiver core. So Devontae Adams would solve that immensely. The guy's the best in the league. So I'm not arguing that, but it is. My argument is you could get Devontae Adams, and that's going to be great. It was just mine is like, look at this. You could find wide receivers. You can't find MVPs. It's tough. And you could say, Aaron, he doesn't win a lot of big games, but last year he was a decision away from almost beating Tom Brady, kicking a field goal. He should have went for it on 4th down, and we'll never know. But that's just simply why I said that. Obviously, I have respect for Jared Goff. I think he's been to a big game, so it's not like he can't get there. But I don't know, man. Something about you get Devontae. I feel like if you can get Aaron Rodgers, you could figure out a way to get another. Julio Jones was just on the block. I mean, you could get wide receivers.
You couldn't trade for Julio Jones. You would have had to have given up the number 7 overall pick.
Well, guys like Julio. I'm not saying Julio.
Let me dismiss that Aaron Rodgers doesn't win big games. You're not just planted in an NFC Championship game. You have to win to get there. Yeah, okay, maybe he's failed or come short in 4th quarter games, but he's been in more big games and proven himself to get there more opportunities than Jared Goff has, and he's been more consistent.
He's played longer than Jared Goff.
Yeah, and he's been more consistent in proving that he can win.
Jared Goff has as many NFC championships as Aaron Rodgers, and he's played a fraction of the games.
That's all right. Guess what? Aaron Rodgers has that Jared Goff doesn't.
MVPs.
A Super Bowl ring. MVPs.
Okay, true.
You know what I'm saying?
A Super
you
Bowl
can't
ring
say
that
he
was
doesn't
so
perform
far
in big
long
games.
ago. This is the same conversation we have with Ben Roethlisberger.
No, not
Ben
at all.
Roethlisberger won all his Super Bowls early, and he hasn't won shit since, and he hasn't delivered in the AFC Championship games against
not
Tom
even a
Brady and the Patriots.
comparison.
What do you mean? They're
You look at
literally
the numbers
same
of
player.
performance of Ben Roethlisberger and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is light years ahead of Ben Roethlisberger.
No, he's not light years. The only thing he's light years ahead of is regular season awards. Ben Roethlisberger
Numbers,
statistically
too.
throws
Ben
up the same
Roethlisberger
numbers,
fell off
except the
5
only
years
problem
ago.
is he throws more interceptions than Aaron Rodgers. That's the only difference
And
between the two.
I'll give him this. Like if you're thinking about age and Jared Goff's younger, that's fine. But we don't know. Jared Goff could not make a Super Bowl the rest of his career. We honestly don't know.
Again, the question here is: would you rather have Aaron Rodgers in his current state or Devontae Adams? I'd rather have a 28-year-old. I'd rather have a 28-year-old star-studded wide receiver that's going to fix my clear problem that I have on the team. Quarterback is not a clear problem for the Detroit Lions right now. You don't know what you're going to get out of Jared Goff. Bringing in Aaron Rodgers with this roster does nothing for you. It does nothing.
You're
This
out of
isn't
your
like Tom
mind.
Brady joining the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you think for a second that Aaron Rodgers is going to somehow you have to understand, guys. You're walking into the Detroit. You're walking into the Detroit Lions. All right. All the Detroit Lions know as a franchise in their history is losing, overcoming, not being able to overcome anything. Aaron Rodgers does not overcome shit. 0-34 against winning teams when trailing in the fourth quarter. I don't know what more damning stat I could bring outside of that. Does he have all the regular season awards? Is he probably, honestly, the greatest quarterback talent I've ever seen in my life? Absolutely. Peyton Manning was one of the most dominant regular season quarterbacks, but I mentioned this earlier. There's something mentally that ticks in certain people that you don't get to 6 NFC championship games and only win 1. And there's a reason why. There are greats, and then there are just people who were just as great or could have been just as great, but were never. And that's my problem with Aaron Rodgers. All these NFC championship appearances, the consistency of having the Green Bay Packers as his organization, very good coaches throughout his career. He never had a great coach, but very good coaches, very good defenses, very good offensive weapons, and he's never delivered another Super Bowl. I don't want to hear it. It's actually not even.
It's a team.
It's not
game.
even a debate.
It's
You
not-
can't
it's not
pick
all on
and
the
choose when you can't pick
Like,
and choose.
if we look at Tom Brady's
excuse me,
rings,
one second.
there's
Let
so
me
many
finish.
things
Let
that
me
led
finish.
to him.
Let me finish. You can't bring up to me it's a team game and then stroke off Aaron Rodgers on the set saying all of his MVPs, all of his stats, all of his showing up and winning in big games. You can't use the team argument when you're literally defending the individual based on everything he does, when it's actually his responsibility as the quarterback. He has the ball every single offensive possession, it touches his hand. He's deciding pre-snap changes. He does everything for that team. And you're telling me
plays defense?
6 NFC championship appearances, he could only win 1, and he hasn't even... Guys,
he's on the
hasn't even
defensive line
faced-
at 4th and goal?
His most difficult challenge was the Legion of Boom with the Seattle Seahawks, and he blew a lead to Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Let's not forget
Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks weren't great.
I didn't say they weren't great. I just said the Legion
Well, that's
of
what I'm
Boom.
saying. It's a
And he
team
blew
effort.
he blew a 20-point lead.
You can't you gotta look at both sides. He's not playing defense, and
He's
another
playing
thing too.
offense though. He can keep the ball out of the opposing team's hands.
To the debate of the wide receiver, we look at a guy like Julio Jones, right? We're the Atlanta Falcons last year. Not in the playoffs.
Are we serious?
Look at Allen Robinson. The Bears were in the playoffs. Was it because of Allen Robinson? No, they
The Bears
stumbled
weren't in
into
the playoffs last year. No, that's not the point. It's not the point.
I'm
Guys,
just saying, if you're putting us between the two, if you're putting one player on your team right now to
not
win
my
games,
team. Not my team. We're
the
talking about the
Lions.
Detroit Lions
exactly.
right
If you're
now.
putting one player on the Detroit Lions right now to win games, the answer is Aaron Rodgers all day.
I
For
don't
all the
understand.
reasons you said, he touches the ball every single offensive snap. He makes shit happen. He has those stats for a reason. He's part of that. Now the wins, that's a team effort. But
okay, now it's a team effort.
To total it, to help that out, Aaron Rodgers does more than that than Devontae Adams or any wide receiver. Look, again, Calvin Johnson, the best wide receiver. I'm not gonna say the best, but one of the best wide receivers to ever do it. Did that ever equate to wins for us? Did that ever open up all those
Again,
things?
the debate wasn't about wins. It was which player would you rather have.
Well,
But
I'm telling you,
we got to go to break.
What's the goal? Is
It's
to
9
win, right?
o'clock. It's 9
We
o'clock.
play to win the game.
Yeah, you don't win with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback in the postseason.
I think we're overthinking this.
I don't think we're overthinking it. But we got to go to break, guys. Fish, if you could tell everybody about our good friends at Hall Financial, please.
I don't have Hall Financial.
Oh,
All right, then. I do.
Go ahead, Fish. Go ahead.
I have 8 Mile vodka.
Go ahead.
though.
Go ahead, Fish.
All right, cool. All right, it's about the who. It's 8 Mile vodka. The what is vodka? 8 Mile vodka is born in Detroit, distilled in single 90-liter batches to allow optimal care, quality, and control. Then carbon filtered. Altered and bottled at the perfect time to produce a subtle taste with smooth finish and a character all of its own. This is an exceptional premium vodka that could be chilled and enjoyed straight or mixed to create an exceptional cocktail. Next time you're out, ask your bartender for an 8 Mile vodka or pick up a bottle at Meyer, no S, and always drink responsibly. This is Woodward Sports with the great Adham, Eazy, and Jeff. You're watching Morning Woodward Show on Woodward Sports Network.
All right, to build off of our previous conversation regarding the Detroit Lions, we have a special addition to the show today. It's going to be the over-under. We're going to discuss the over-unders for multiple facets of the Detroit Lions season. So we're going to start with, of course, the quarterback position, Jared Goff. Guys, Jeff, I'll start with you. Jared Goff will throw for more or less than 3,800 yards this upcoming season.
I got over, and you could even say the 17th game is a reason for that. But if you look at, Jared Goff has, as long as he starts a majority of his games, he's achieved over 3,700 yards every single season. He's had, 39, 52 last year, 46, 38 the year prior. So the guy's consistent with getting over 30. If we're going 38, he's gotten over 38 every single year. And we just finished a debate, the wide receiver core isn't that good, but it doesn't mean like guys like TJ Hockenson, there's going to be guys to fill the void. He's going to do a lot of checkdowns of DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. He'll get his yards. So I'll say over, Adam.
Okay, I like that. Easy?
Extra game this year. We're playing. Give me over. I think you do 3,800. It's this NFL, you could pass all day.
Well, I really struggled with this one. 3,800 yards in Jared Goff's career is very attainable. He's done it literally every season outside of his rookie year. Having said that, there are 17 games this season, so he only needs to average 223 yards a game to even achieve that. It's so minimal. It's not even much. I do think it'll be over, but I would actually place an under bet, and I'll tell you why. I think the Detroit Lions this year are going to really focus on controlling the clock and running the football as much as possible. I don't think they're going to put Jared Goff in third and long situations where he's going to have to, one, throw the ball downfield where it'll probably be a turnover knowing him, and number two, and more importantly, you're going to be playing from behind in most games. I don't think you want to expose Jared Goff or potentially even hurt his confidence. He's already coming off a rocky relationship with Sean McVay. I do think the Lions are going to be cautious on how often they do throw the ball this season. Again, Hockenson will be lined up, probably double team most of the time. So we have to be cautious of that. Yes, a lot of dink and dunks. I do think 216, 217 yards a game is probably realistic for him. I'm going to take the under. I don't see Jared Goff being able to perform at the level he was with the Rams strictly because of the talent surrounding him. So I got to take the under. But this next one I'm really excited for. I'm actually curious to see what you guys think. Over under total rushing yards this season. Not for Jamal Williams. No. For DeAndre Swift. 1,250 yards. Over under, guys. Easy, you take the floor this time.
It's a lot of yards, man.
17 games. 17 games.
17 games.
Top 10 offensive line in the NFL.
Top 10 offensive line in the NFL. But let's not forget Pro Football Focus. It wasn't Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Talk did release an article earlier on this year during the offseason that Jamal Williams was actually, I guess Anthony Lynn called him the 1A. It was something similar to that, something referring to him as the number one back. So I do think this will be more of a committee than just DeAndre Swift taking the ball and pounding it every single time. So I am going to go with the under. 1,200 is hefty, a hefty ask for a Detroit Lions running back. We haven't seen it very often in the past decade. And on top of the fact that he's going to be splitting a lot of those carries with Jamal Williams, who I think is more than capable enough of, holding himself accountable and carrying that load. I think he's more than deserving of it and everything that I've seen of him as of late. So 1,200, I'm going to go with the under on that one.
Jeff?
I'm going to go under too. I think, like Eazy said, it's going to be a running back by committee. Number one, Jamal Williams will get his. I could see his getting some yards, but I could see him breaking 1,000, but 1,200 is a little too steep for me. Especially he'll be catching the ball as well. I think he'll be a double threat for us, and he's going to be killing it on the field. But I'll take the under on that. 1,200 is a little too steep for me.
I've struggled with this as well. I think 1,250 might be a little too high for DeAndre Swift, considering the way the Detroit Lions are going to play football this season. I think they're going to try to run the ball 25 to 30 times a game and really control the clock. Jamal Williams will be a huge part of that. I don't think that's a question. I do have to take the under. 1,250 yards a game over a 17-game season. You're looking at about 73 yards a game. Last season, DeAndre Swift only averaged 40. But I think the one glimmering stat behind all of this that may convince me to take the over would be 4.6 yards a carry for DeAndre Swift. When he touched the ball, he did make a significant impact. So,
yes.
1,250 yards. If you're a betting man, you probably take the under, given the Detroit Lions circumstances. Though I wouldn't be surprised if DeAndre Swift did pass the number. I think he'll get pretty damn close, actually, but I will take the under. The next one, guys. Fish, you're gonna love this. Fish, I'd like you involved on this one. The over/under in total wins for the season for the Detroit Lions. We're gonna start at 4.5. Are you gonna take the over or under?
I'm going to go over because I have them at about 5 or 6 wins. So I think they'll get a little above that. I think 4 is, not really respecting the coaching staff he's brought in. And we don't have a lot of talent, but I think, with the coaching staff and especially with Jared Goff, you have a nice running back committee. Well, obviously, the wide receiver core isn't great, but they can still catch the ball. They know how to catch the ball. So they'll be good enough, I think, and to get at least 5, 6 wins. I think at best we can even get 7, 8 wins. I think at the best we can get. Sorry, Fish. I think 10-7 is a little steep, but I can see this team getting about 5, 6 wins. So I'm gonna say over. I'm confident with that.
Okay, Easy.
Over all day. 4 wins is disrespectful.
Is
not,
it?
It is.
Disrespectful?
It is, dude. I'm not so much like looking at Dan Campbell when I'm saying this too. I'm looking at guys like Anthony Lynn and Aaron Glenn coming from the Saints and the head coach of the Chargers. Like, I think they were 7-9 last year in the AFC West, which is considerably a lot stronger division than the NFC North. Like, that's disrespectful to Anthony Lynn. We have teams, like you said. I think the Steelers are beatable with Ben Roethlisberger because he's not as good as Aaron Rodgers.
I didn't say he was as good, but continue.
Giving you shit. We have the Eagles, who are very unproven with unproven quarterback. We have the Bengals on the schedule, which I believe is at home. The Bears, who are supposed to be led by Andy Dalton, if not, what's the guy's name? I can't think of it. Justin Fields. Now he scares me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but an unproven commodity. I think 4 wins is more than attainable for the Detroit Lions.
All right, again, I struggled with this one. The reasonable man in me thinks that just because of the clear culture shift, they should win 5 games, which is what they won last season. Having said that, they do have the 6th hardest schedule for the upcoming football season. I am worried. They open up. They're going to start 0-3. I'm sorry, guys. Get ready. It's going to be a tough start. How they handle that adversity, I'm so curious to see. But it is going to be a rough start. Honestly, I could see them losing their first 6, even 7 games. You have the Eagles, you have the Broncos, you have the Steelers that I think are winnable, you have the Falcons, you have the Bears once, maybe the Vikings once. Like, they could do it. I got to take the under. I think the Detroit Lions are going to be the 3rd or the 4th worst football team this season. Not because I think they're going to improve from last season, but I don't think it's going to reflect in the win column. I think you're going to see better play. They're going to be much closer in games. They aren't going to give up leads. Even if they're able or even capable of having leads, we don't even know that. I think they're going to play from behind most of the season. That's going to put Jared Goff in an uncomfortable situation. He's thrown double-digit interceptions over the last 4 seasons. I don't see the Detroit Lions winning more than 4 games, although 4.5 as a prop bet is a really good bet. You could convince me either way to bet over or under, but I got to take the under. I think 4-13 is probably where they're going to hit. It's going to be a gut-wrenching season to watch, especially if you're betting on it. But I got to take the under. And then the last one, guys, I wanted to have some fun with this. I think it's very important, and I think this shapes the history of the Detroit Lions and the future of it, really. Guys, over-under. The number of times the Detroit Lions will line up with fewer than 11 men on the field. The opening line, 0.5. Is it going to happen this year, or is it not going to happen? Easy?
It happens every once in a while, man. Everyone does it. I'm going to take the over. It happens.
Oof.
It happens.
It happens on the amount of players more than 11. 12 men on the field happens way more often than
Under
less
11.
than 11. So, are you going to take it to happen this year? He's going to pull a Matty P.
No, I'll take the under.
Take the under? Not
Just
gonna
because
happen?
we had Joik Bell break that down, it like went national. I think they'll be key on not being embarrassed like that again.
Jeff?
I'm going to take the under because, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new coaching staff. I don't know if you noticed, but these boys don't play around, and I don't think they're going to do Matty P mistakes. I really don't. And especially Dan, he is a disciplined coach. You can tell just by watching him. So he's going to be on these guys' rear end. So I'll take the under. I'm confident.
I'll tell you what. Anthony Lynn last year and Aaron Glenn as the head coach of the Chargers and the defensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints. Guys, I got to take the under as well. I'm kind of giggling, hoping that it does happen just one time. I would love to see that prop bet hit, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think this year Dan Campbell is not going to focus on winning football games. He's going to focus on fundamentals, 2-minute drills, making sure we're getting everybody lined up where they're supposed to be pre-snap. I don't see 10 men, 9 men. God forbid 9 men on the field. Dan, if you pull off 9 men on the field year one, like, we're going to have a problem. Like, I couldn't fathom the Detroit Lions lining up with 9 men on the field this year. It would absolutely crush my soul. And I think it's an unforgivable offense, honestly.
Yeah, 9 men is bad. I mean, that is horrible.
And Dalvin Cook ran to the house, I believe, on that play. So I don't even want to talk about it. We're going to move on. But we're going to move on after the break. When we come back, we're going to discuss a little college football. Who will have a better season, Michigan or Michigan State? We'll do that next here on the Morning Woodward Show on the morning on the Woodward Sports Network. God, I don't know. That's a tongue twister. I don't know how Stick does it.
It is a
tongue
twister.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Guys, I hate that. It's such a tongue twister. I don't know whose idea it was. It's probably mine, honestly, from the beginning.
You didn't finish your coffee.
Not enough caffeine yet. But Michigan and Michigan State, we know Mel Tucker's going into his second year, and Jim Harbaugh is coming off his worst season ever as a head coach. I'm going to start with you, Eazy. Who has a better season and why? Michigan or Michigan State?
Better season? I'm going to go actually with Michigan on that one. I look at this Michigan State schedule. We have Miami on there in Game 3. You know, that's a tall task there. You start the season off with Northwestern, not to mention. So like their schedule off the bat is tough as nails. Obviously, you have Ohio State in there as always. Michigan's going to be a good game. Indiana's a bit respectful, but I'm gonna have to go with Michigan. You know, I'm a Michigan State guy. I'd love to say Michigan State having a better season, but you know, Michigan pads their schedule a little bit more. It's a little bit more fluffy than Michigan State's.
Jeff?
I'm going to go Michigan as well because I kind of made the point yesterday. Listen, Jim Harbaugh has to have a good season. This guy's on the hot seat. He signed the 4-year extension, but he's still on the hot seat. They're still watching him. They want to see what improvements he's making. And especially this year, we already brought up the stat. He's 37-5 against unranked opponents. I mean, the guy's going to beat up on teams that aren't that good. And he opens up with Western Michigan this year. And then there's Rutgers, then there's Northern Illinois, and I smell above 500 there. And if you look at Mel Tucker, I love what he's building with the program. And I mean, that's great what he's doing and all the recruits he's getting. I think he just landed Antonio Gates' son recently.
Yes,
so
sir.
credit to him, man. But it doesn't take away from the fact that Michigan, especially in the quarterback room, is more talented. I mean, if you look at J.J. McCarthy, Cade, I mean, those two against Anthony Russo, an upperclassman, a transfer at Michigan State, and then a redshirt freshman, Noah Kim, who hasn't stepped on the field yet, but he was rated lower than J.J. McCarthy in high school. So, I mean, we say it's a quarterback league, but in college, quarterback's important, and the team around it's important. I think Michigan just has more talent around, guys like J.J. and guys like Cade, and I think they have more pressure on them, and they're going to be more focused. They're going to come out locked in, and it doesn't mean MSU won't, but you got to look at the facts here, man. The schedule's a little easier, and Jim, he's going to want some W's.
Easier.
All right.
If I'm not mistaken, too, isn't Michigan returning like most of their defense?
A lot of guys are upperclassmen.
They lost a few,
too.
but Yeah, Michigan should be a very competitive team in the Big Ten. I don't think they're college playoff contenders, but let me start with this. I think Michigan State will have a better season, and I'll tell you why.
Wow.
It all lies on expectations.
Okay.
That is the key here. Nobody is expecting Michigan State to go out there and win 6, 7, even 8 games. And it'll be very difficult for them to do that. But let's not forget, this is the same Michigan State team that with the Kroger cashier himself, Rocky Lombardi, beat Michigan last season under Mel Tucker. We need to be cautious what we're saying here, because Michigan is expected to win 8, 9, maybe even 10 games under Jim Harbaugh. That is the expectation. Right. So if he does finish with 8 or 9 wins, loses to Ohio State, loses to Penn State, potentially even loses to a Wisconsin or a Michigan State, it's not a winning season for Harbaugh. Harbaugh is past, hey, get us 9, 10 wins and we're happy. No. You got to beat Ohio State. That is the measure of success, and that's going to be very difficult to do for Jim Harbaugh this season. If Mel Tucker wins 5 games, he shows improvements, he's going to be able to recruit more. He needs still 2, 3 more draft classes under his belt before he can even evaluate the guy as a head coach.
Yeah.
But again, who will have a better season, a more successful season? It's got to be Michigan State based on the expectations going into the season. I think they can crush their expectations. I'm not sure if Michigan can live up to their own expectations, let alone the expectations given to them by national media. It's going to be very difficult. Jim Harbaugh, this is the year to prove that you are the guy. Yes, he has a great winning percentage, and I think people lose that sight because of the record against Ohio State. But in the last 27 years, you've only beaten Ohio State 2 or 3 times. We got to be better than this. Andrew, what do you got?
What I got is, I hope Michigan has a bad season. I hope Jim Harbaugh is goodbye. I've been a longtime Michigan fan my whole life, and it's just so disappointing to see this season over and over and over, and the disappointment he's brought.
How old are you,
to Ann Arbor? I'm 22.
Okay.
So I remember when Jim Harbaugh when hired. I remember the hype of Jim Harbaugh.
The khakis.
And the khakis and going to games and how hype it was. And I remember going as a kid. And now seeing this team and the way he's built this team, he can't develop quarterbacks. He can't develop anything. And he's just been a big disappointment in Ann Arbor. He's just been a disappointment.
I don't think he's been a big disappointment. I'll tell you why. Michigan fans are stupid, honestly. I think they're one of the most delusional fan bases in the history of life. And I've lived through being a Detroit Lions supporter. So Michigan fans, the problem with Michigan fans is that they think they deserve, or they're part of this upper echelon like a Alabama, a Clemson, even an LSU. You're not. You've never been. Outside of a shared national title, you have been irrelevant for the last 27 years. You've consistently got your ass kicked by Ohio State over the last 25 years. It's actually not an argument, but I do think Jim Harbaugh, though, let's not forget what Jim Harbaugh did when he came to Michigan. He brought not only national respect, conference respect to Michigan. It was clear that Michigan, let's not forget, going into the last game of the season was the number 2 ranked team in the NCAA. They lost to Ohio State on one of the last plays of the game. They were seconds away from being into the into the college playoffs. Like, guys, the guy can do great things for Michigan. I don't think you should want Jim Harbaugh out. Having said that, I don't think their team is good enough to compete with an Ohio State right now. They're just not. The talent divide is too much. And I think if Harbaugh goes out and wins 8 games, that's not considered a success for Michigan. Now, that's your standards as Michigan fans, but that's probably the best you've had in the last 30 years, even under Lloyd Carr. So I think expectations are the problem with Michigan, not so much that coach.
I was going to say, too, like, it depends on, like, because you said it perfectly. I feel the exact same way about Michigan fans. They're like delusional. Because like expectations, are we looking at realistic expectations or Michigan fan expectations? Because my expectations for Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines isn't great. I compare the Michigan Wolverines kind of like the Dallas Cowboys of the NCAA football. Like it's every year they're just getting stroked every year for no good reason. No good reason. And so expectations, I don't think they're gonna do great. I think they'll just win like.
Beat Ohio State. Let's start there. I think if you beat Ohio State,
do that.
That changes your recruiting ability for the next 2 to 3 years. If Michigan is able to beat Ohio State, I think they can catch up to them eventually. But getting rid of Jim Harbaugh, be very careful what you ask for, because I don't care who you bring in right now, they are not going to be able to out-compete and out-recruit Ohio State. They play a spread offense. It's absolutely dynamic. It translates to the league. It's so difficult. It's so difficult to recruit against them. They've been dominating for the last 25 years. Good luck. All these college kids, all they know is that Michigan gets their ass kicked. They don't know about Bo Schembechler. They don't give a shit about him. They don't give a shit about Lloyd Carter. They don't give a shit about Tom Brady at Michigan. And that is the biggest problem. Andrew, go ahead.
This is my thing on Michigan, is when you have a guy like Jim Harbaugh, a alumni, one of the most prestigious quarterbacks ever in Michigan history. Your expectation when they come in Ann Arbor was to win a national championship.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's been so disappointing, is that you have the coaching ability, you have all this recruiting, you have all this stuff, and you don't abuse it. Michigan should be better than Ohio State. They should be the team in the Big Ten. They should be that prestige. But the problem is they're a team like Texas, I think, is that we're in that middle gap. We're not with the Ohio States. We're not with the LSUs. We're not with Alabama. We're in with the Texas. We're in that ground.
But that's where Michigan should be. That's where Michigan has been for the last 40 years.
They should be at the top.
No, Michigan shouldn't be. Here, I'll tell you, Andrew. Michigan shouldn't be at the top. They were at the top back in the 60s and the 70s. Even under Lloyd Carter, it wasn't that they were at the top. It was they were nationally respected. And going into the Ohio State game every year, Andrew, playing for that game decided whether or not they were playing for a Big Ten title. Like, it mattered. Now, the last 15 years, it's been, you get to Ohio State, outside of Jim Harbaugh's time, getting to Ohio State meant nothing for Michigan. It was like, if we beat them, great, but if we don't, well, we're not going anywhere anyways.
It blows my mind they've kept that level of prestige, too, in, like, the media and stuff like that, because they haven't. Like you said, the last 27 years, they haven't done anything. It's like, how are we still, like, holding on to their nuts
Well, they
this
are
hard?
a great brand. Let me not disrespect Michigan's branding ability.
Yes,
They are one of the most dominant brands in the country regarding universities. So they do everything else well. Their baseball teams are typically good. The swimming teams,
They're
that's what I'm trying to say. You brought in a guy like Juwan Howard. Okay, he has expectations tremendously more than Jim Harbaugh.
He's exceeded expectations.
He has taken that team to becoming a middle ground team that they can make the Final Four every 5 years. So now, hey, we can win this thing. That's what people thought Jim Harbaugh was going to be. Like a
well,
Juwan
he got
Howard.
you pretty damn close.
He got close, but he didn't get
Can
there
I add
yet.
this too? With basketball, there isn't a dominant guy. People like Ohio State football, like with Michigan basketball, you'll verse your good opponents, but like you don't have a big brother like that. Like in Michigan football, your big brother's Ohio State.
Keep in mind, Jeff and Eazy and Andrew, especially you and everybody watching. You tell me a more difficult situation for any head coach to walk in than joining a Michigan program that was literally sucked out of all its emotion and pride prior to Jim Harbaugh showing up. He walks in knowingly and willingly accepts the challenge to go against and try to dethrone Ohio State coming off a natty. They win the natty that year.
Yeah.
Under Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer is no joke. He's one of the greatest college coaches of all time. He's in that class of Nick Saban. So please, somebody explain to me at home or on the desk how this unreal expectation that Jim Harbaugh, realistically, he did compete with Ohio State, which was more than any coach had done prior in the last 30 years. He actually went toe-to-toe with them for 2 games. That's more than most Michigan coaches can say. So, again, tempering expectations is so important here, because don't forget what you do have in Jim Harbaugh. You have a consistent 8-9 win program. If he gets the right pieces, could it be a college football playoff appearance? Absolutely. But going against Ohio State is not a joke. They're just classes ahead in recruiting. Ryan Day took the baton from Urban Meyer. He seamlessly transitioned. They got to the college football playoffs. Every year he's been there so far. Every 2 years. They've been there with 2 years. Guys, it's not even a debate. Look at the Michigan quarterbacks. Look at Ohio State quarterbacks. Haskins, Justin Fields. It's not even a debate. Those are quality college quarterbacks. So
and we're kind of running away. I'm going to circle back to the point with the Michigan or Michigan State, because I said Michigan with the better season. If we're basing success off number one, I'm going with wins, productivity from the quarterback, and maybe their rankings on defense and offense. I think Michigan will just have a better season. Like Michigan State will compete, and they'll be respectable, and I think they might look at success different than Michigan. Like you said, they can get 8 wins and then get smacked by Ohio State and everything's out the window. But it's like you can't necessarily just be like, well, you got smacked by Ohio State, because we all acknowledge they're the big brother in this. So it's not like we expect them to go run over Ohio State. It's like, how's your season going? And in my eyes, I see Michigan just having a better season, win total and
again, based on expectation. That's how I like to look at this. I don't like to look at it as in
I'm
a
not
way that
expecting
goes
much
by
from
wins, because I
Michigan.
think Michigan will win more games than Michigan State. I don't think that's even a debate. They have a better roster. They have the better coach. Mel Tucker needs time, but
Yeah.
Easy. I'll leave this to you, and then we'll go to Andrew real quickly. Is Michigan's schedule opens up pretty fairly in the first 4 to 5 games, and then starting in October, they're away to Nebraska and away to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And then they open up the Michigan States, the Purdue's, the Maryland, the Ohio State, the Penn States. That's when that starts picking up. So
Yeah.
Michigan could look really good early on, and they'll probably be ranked 15th or 17th in the nation if they win their first few games. But again, guys, keep expectations in mind. If you think Jim Harbaugh, or let alone this Michigan team, can beat Ohio State, you're putting too much pressure on them. It's unfathomable. Easy?
No, yeah. You asked if I think they could beat Ohio
Yeah.
State? No. God, no. No.
Andrew?
Not-
what Andrew, let
not
me ask
this
you a
year.
different
Not this
let me
year,
ask you a
but
different question, Andrew. Is beating Ohio State, which I think is very important for any Michigan coach, is that the end all be all for you to decide on Jim Harbaugh's future? Or what are you looking for from Jim Harbaugh?
This season?
That's gonna make you be like, okay, you know what, this is going to be the guy. He's earned my trust again after all the hype in the beginning. Or are you just over it because he was able to get number 1 prospects like Rashawn Gary and not turn out any Big Ten championships?
This is my name, Jim Harbaugh. Okay. The problem is he's not delivered what he promised, and that he wanted to be better than Ohio State. He has not accomplished that yet. Now this year they're going to be Ohio State. No, if they even get ranked this year, or they get 8 or 9 wins, that's a good season for them, and they make a bowl game. But the fact that Jim Harbaugh has said he wants to be Ohio State, he wants to compete with Ohio State, he hasn't done that.
I would prefer that as a fan. I would prefer my coach taking over and saying, we're going to change the narrative. Under my time here, we're going to change the narrative. We're going to beat Ohio State. We're going to compete for Big Ten championships, and we're going to compete for national titles. I prefer my coach to do that than walk in and be like, you know what? Ohio State's damn good. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. We'll see. We're gonna do our best to progress over these next few seasons, and hopefully we're able to beat them. Nobody's been able to beat Ohio State as a head coach for Michigan over the last 25 years. It's been nearly impossible. Only a few have done it. So I think Jim Harbaugh needs to perform better. I think getting rid of Don Brown was a great first step. The defense has been shit over the last few seasons. So we'll see. I think they'll be better. I think Michigan State will have the better season just based on expectations.
I'll give you that. I can agree with the expectation.
Yeah,
argument.
expectations, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, when we come back, we're going to get into Joey/Jeff's news today. And then we'll get in what's trending with Jeff and also with Paige. We'll do that right after the break. We'll see you. This is the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network.
You did it.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports at my favorite downtown Fenton, Bridge Street Exchange. Let's go check out their beautiful store. You know we love Michigan summers. Gotta turn up on the lake. Pre-made mixed drinks. They even got their own beautiful Bridge Street Exchange t-shirts. I got mine on. Jewelry, they got you here. I got mine on. Titanium Buzz. If you're not quite ready to ask that big question yet with the jewelry, look nice for your girl. They got polos. And last but not least, the most comfortable shoes on the planet. Hey Dude. They're literally called Hey Dude. Shop here at Bridge Street Exchange, downtown Fenton. Support a locally owned business.
Good morning, everyone.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Let's get into Joey's news. Let's go.
Welcome to Joey's News. Well, today it's Jeff's news. I'm taking over, filling in for my guy Joey. But for the first little thing I got here, it's crazy how Tokyo and the Olympics are obviously in China. They're developing all kinds of stuff, and in Japan they're developing all kinds of stuff. But come on, a robot who can shoot a half-court shot, like we're getting out of hand here. I mean, look at this. We don't have the video because it's Olympics. They're on it. But listen, this robot can shoot half-court shots, three-point shots, and free throw shots automatically without effort. So listen, if he can do it, guys like Lonzo Ball, they have to change their jumper because this robot, he's shooting from three, man. He's wet. And I don't understand how the technology for that gets made because we're behind. I need to. You can pretty much set up a 4-on-4 with you and just robots.
Can I ask why you guys thought that was impressive? I mean, it was slow as hell. Did you not see how slow it was like?
Well, the physics behind it is what's impressive.
That's what's
because
impressive.
there's a certain speed, trajectory, and arc that you have to hit,
ball.
and you'll never miss a free throw, basically.
Computing. now we'll slowly throw the hand forward. Like, yeah, it was impressive that the robot could do that, but it went really slow. Like, if it played in the NBA, it would get killed. Get blocked instantly.
He could shoot NBA players, though.
LeBron would pick him up. I think he would.
Well, listen.
I bet LeBron could win.
I think the
like, yes, that was impressive, but you guys are harping up just a little too much.
I think
like
it's
this
cool.
is one step in the right direction.
No,
but
it's not in the right direction. No, we don't want robots taking over the earth.
Okay,
no,
but you get
no.
the point. It's
Fish,
it's
watch
a
your
start
words.
in the right direction.
Don't speak shit into existence. You don't want.
In terms of robots, it is a step in the direction.
It's not a step in the right direction. I don't need
In
a
terms
robot
of
showing up to
robots.
Sunday court, hooping better than Joey and me on the weekend.
I have a question. Do you think Prime LeBron could carry that robot to the finals with him? I think he actually
Don't
could.
get Adam started on that.
I'm thinking honestly because if he starts the timer, like if you just
but
had
all you
his
gotta
time
do
down,
is
you
take
just
the
hit him
ball
like
out of the
Giannis.
machine, and then the robot can't shoot.
But
He'll
he's
just
giving
be
to him
doing
perfect
this.
timing.
He's like Giannis shooting the free
You know
throws.
what? We'll just end it on Jordan could. All right, Jordan could
God.
carry him to the finals. But anyway, the second clip. Listen, Devontae Adams. We know him as we had just had a debate earlier about him, but he's the best receiver in the league. We can all collectively agree on that. And Madden just gave my guy the 99 overall rating, and they dropped a little promo video for him. This is deserving, right, guys? You can agree on this. No one has any issue with him being number 1 ranked in the wide receiver category. I think Hopkins was second with 97.
Yeah, I'd say Hopkins would be my only argument. But Adams had the better season.
Adams coming off a more impressive season. He was clearly the most dominant receiver, not only in fantasy but just in the league in general.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas injured most of the season, but he's still a respectable wide receiver. Yeah, Tyreek Hill, who's just a speedster, has his moments. I don't mind Adams being the only 99. I'm not against it. I think D-Hop is fair at 98. I think that's giving him his respect. What's up, Fish?
You want to hear a fun fact?
Yep.
Speaking of Madden, Polar, who does the hook from 3 to 5, apparently is really good at Madden. That's what she says. So you can take that however you want to bring it.
Yeah,
but
Joey said he was
she
better
says
than
she's
LeBron.
really good at
so
Madden.
I'm going to take what people say here with a pinch of salt, Fish.
So if any of you want to play Polar in Madden, she claims she's really good.
I say we do it on Mikey TikTok's 10 o'clock video game show.
No, listen,
that would be a very good option.
I
is
would
any
smoke
of
her
you
in
good
Madden.
at Madden, by the way? Would any of you be willing to take on Pilar? She claims she's really good.
I think we should single
I don't
shot
have time
Jeff. Let him
for
get
this.
that call out.
Although, in
listen,
saying she's really
I'm just-
good, she does claim that she cheats with her son by using sliders. So,
Oh,
you
well,
know,
no, this is
maybe
stupid then. No.
she's not as
No,
good as
whatever.
she claims
All right,
she
whatever.
is. But
Cheaters, Fish.
All
I
right,
don't have
we're
time
moving
for
on, Fish. We got to go to Giannis. My man just won a ring, and his signature move is, a lot of people say, he takes a little too much steps at the rim, and this is him showing kids the move he does, and you know you could judge by yourself what it looks like.
He kind of exposed himself here for opponents though.
It's so hard when he's running at full speed with his steps. Like his 2 steps are what takes me 8 steps.
Isn't
you know?
it fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Like
so-
2 steps, he's at the rim.
I mean,
from half
James
court,
Harden
it
came
feels
out with a video like this, I want to say 2 seasons ago in the summer,
Yeah.
where he was working with that guy and they were going through how to correctly do the step back 3 where it looks like he travels. It literally looks like he's taking 20 steps.
Yeah.
But he's not. It's because he has put the ball on the ground. It's in the air. He's taking the steps, grabs it, then goes another 2.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're exposing themselves. It's impossible to guard, honestly, and these are pro athletes. So
Speaking of James Harden, don't him and Giannis have a little beef? Remember when James was like...
James Harden cannot have beef with Giannis.
I was gonna say, now
Giannis
Giannis got that
levels-
ring, it's no longer
not
a
even
thing,
that.
right?
Giannis is something James Harden can never be.
Yeah.
And that is
Cute.
Cute, freakishly athletic, but more than that, he has. Again, I brought this up earlier in the show, and I feel like it's applied every conversation we've had.
Right.
There is something mentally that ticks in people who want to be great.
Giannis has that.
And if Harden could have and should have taken Houston to multiple finals appearances during that period, they had all the opportunities to do it.
Agreed.
Giannis finally gets his moment. Down 2-0, guys. Let's keep in mind they were down 2-0. Shows up and makes it happen. Wins his first finals. I don't want to. Harden's not allowed to have beef with Giannis. If anything, he should cook for Giannis. He's not even on his goddamn level.
There's a difference of a guy who committed to a small market team and spoke about it out loud, and the guy who refused to show up to his team and went to strip clubs instead.
And then went to Brooklyn like a little. Never mind.
Took off that fat suit when he went out to Brooklyn.
That
But
was
we're moving
crazy.
on here. We got Miguel Cabrera, the Tigers yesterday lost a tough one to the Minnesota Twins, but there was some light shining on the game. Miguel Cabrera with the 2-run homer to hit his 495th home run. And I think he'd be only a handful to hit 500. So he's almost there, guys. I don't know when he's going to get it.
495 he's at, right?
Yep, 495.
495. So this one was an opposite field home run. It was a no-doubter. Honestly, this pitcher still reminds me of David Ortiz. I have not been able to unsee that.
So crazy,
No,
right?
I can't either.
I have a question. Who has the most homers in
Ever?
a Tigers uniform?
In a Tigers uniform, I believe. God, I don't want to mess it up. It's got to be. Damn it!
You got to look it up now.
Use the Google machine.
Yeah.
But I thought
Mickey's got to be up there, right? Like by now, or like?
Oh yeah, I mean 495, man.
Dude, he won a triple crown, man. You never see that. It's really ever seen. It's K-Line?
I
That's
was
what
gonna
figured.
say Al, but
I'll
I
say
wasn't
K-Line.
sure. Mickey's close though. He's catching up. Yeah.
Mickey's third?
How many behind is
Ooh,
he out?
who's
K-Line?
second? Yeah.
What's the difference between third and first? How many home runs? Quick, Andrew. Okay, what's K-Line at? Okay, so he's about 50 off. Yeah, so Miggy isn't going to be the all-time home run leader for the Tigers unless he plays the next 7 seasons.
Holy shit,
and hits
K-Line.
6 home runs a year.
But now
Anyway.
we're moving on to another guy who can hit bombs, Shohei Ohtani. Listen, this is impressive, man. He hit a ground ball to first base and beat the first baseman there. And stats say he was running 30 feet per second. You can judge for yourself. This is ridiculous, man.
I kind of want to run like a 40.
That is so impressive because, you know, there's so many speedsters that I see ground out to first and even third base, and they're choppers, and they don't run a mountain time. How the hell... I mean, the momentum, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's so tall. His strides
I was
probably
saying, he's
make
not
the
a small
difference.
guy, which makes him more
He's a
impressive
tall
to
guy,
me.
yeah. That is the definition of an athlete.
And that he is built different. We can all collectively agree.
He's a robot.
there.
I'm telling you guys now.
He is one of the
He's
robots.
a fucking robot.
But now, listen, we go to Oklahoma City, Troy Weaver's old place where he worked before he went to the Pistons. And listen, over the last 2 days, there's been some talk about the number 1 pick heating up. And the Pistons just recently declined a trade. Oklahoma City offered a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in the 6th overall pick, which Troy Weaver said, I will politely pass on that. But I just want to get you guys' opinion. How would you feel if you were Troy Weaver and you got this offer?
I wouldn't feel anything. I would answer the phone call. I would say, "Hey, Sam Presti, how you doing, buddy? What do you got?" And he'd offer me Shai and a bunch of picks. And I'd tell him, "Look, Sam, you know, I respect you. I think you're a great GM, but you need to hang up the phone with me right now before I get a baseball bat. I drive to Oklahoma City and I beat the shit out of you for making that offer. It's not going to happen. I don't know why I would accept a player, I believe going into his 4th season, who I'm going to have to pay a max contract in a few years. Like, no, I don't even get this, honestly. You know, Sam Presti, shoot your shot, buddy, but some shots you really shouldn't take.
Yeah,
Eazy?
coupled with the fact they were a lottery team with him this year. I know he got injured, but like Shea, like, he hasn't really proven anything other than numbers. Like for me, and that's why I love Cade so much, is that his style of play is more than just the stats. It's the same with Luka. They equate to wins. Luka made the playoffs his 2nd year ever in the Western Conference, which is the stronger of the two.
With Porzingis out majority of the season.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Tim
like,
Hardaway has 2. Let's keep that into perspective.
and that's the value for me in Cade over Shea or anybody else you're going to offer me who's going to cost a fuck ton more money, and I'm a small market team already. Like I'm so straight on that. Unless the only way there's actually nothing I would trade Cade for, to be honest with you. But I know that Oklahoma has a treasure chest full of 1st-round picks, and maybe if they offer that entire thing plus
Even
Shea,
then, it's so
maybe.
difficult because you put yourself at... Can we agree on the panel that if you land a potential star who has the ceiling of a superstar, doesn't that change your franchise for the next 10 to 15 years?
Absolutely. No doubt.
You become an instant contender
Without
every single
question.
season. Look at Luka, look at Trey, look at LeBron when he came out. It changed your franchise's fortunes change completely. So it's out of the realm of possibility. I don't see how you could ever justify, even if they offer you 6 first-round picks and Shea, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to hit those next 6. So I think if you're feeling good about Cade, that's your guy. You just get him and you move the hell on.
Can I ask you guys this though real quick? I apologize for the news, but if we did make the trade, say it was Houston, we got that 2nd pick, you're taking Mobley or you're taking Green?
I take Jalen Green. I think he's more of a prospect, honestly. What does Mobley get me? Can he be a Jokic? Sure, maybe. I don't know. He can pass well. He can pass to the perimeter. He can play on the perimeter. He can do a lot of really great things, but I just don't know. I need to figure out how does it translate to my basketball team. And on the Pistons, I have Isaiah Stewart at 5. He can be flexible. He can guard on the perimeter. He can guard on the post. I don't need that. That's not a need. Jalen Green, I think he's super raw. Reminds me a lot of Siku from a ceiling standpoint, not from a prospect standpoint. I think he's a way better prospect than Siku. But regarding like, wow, this guy has untapped potential. I wonder like if we work on him, Jalen Green could be something. But I don't have the heart to do that. At the number 1 pick, if I was number 2, I would take Jalen Green.
I'm just going to add quickly, I'll take Jalen Green too, just because I think he's a good fit here too. We need a 2-guard, and he is a scoring machine, and he would work well with Jeremy Grant. I mean, we need more scoring on this team. You can't go wrong there, and he's a very athletic, as you see, but yeah, I just thought this trade offer was funny, man. It's like you respect Sam Presti for giving him the offer. Just for you gotta shoot your shot.
Yeah, there needs to be consequences for making stupid offers like this. Somebody's got to put in a rule. This is like playing NBA 2K, making some stupid dipshit offer, and you get 0 feedback from the video game. It just tells you no, it's declined. No. You should get an email from the company saying, "How dumb are you to even offer this?" Something drastic needs to happen. I am sick and tired of bullshit. Like people saying you should get an all-star for Ben Simmons. I would trade my shoelaces, maybe Fish's left shoe, and Andrew's socks for Ben Simmons, and I would still consider declining it.
This is noted before I join any fantasy league with you. I'm just going to write this down. Don't offer Adam any shit trades.
That's right. That's right. You join a fantasy league with me, and you send me some bullshit, you're going to hear it for the rest of the season, and probably the season's coming if we're still playing together. Having said that, Jeff, we got to get to Paige, don't we?
Yep. And now we go to Paige from Central Michigan.
Thank you, guys. So, some breaking news in gymnastics. During the vault event this morning, Simone Biles injured her leg, and she is out of the finals. We don't know the exact injury because of how new this story is, but we do know that her leg was wrapped. Her right leg was wrapped. And her team doctor did walk her out of the event after she finished the vault event. So, I just found out that the U.S. actually finished in second. They got the silver medal. I have here the Russian Olympic Committee came in first in gold. They finished with gold. The vault was the U.S.'s #1 event that they should have taken first in, and they didn't because of Simone Biles' injury. So that therefore led them to come in second. Now, moving on into other Olympic news. At the men's Olympic triathlon yesterday, the starting gun was fired to signal to the players to start swimming, but there was a camera boat in the middle of the athletes. Now, 56 athletes were lined up at the start of the race, but only a third of them jumped in the water because this boat was in the way. You see here that this swimmer is diving in, and that is literally the camera boat right there in front of half the divers. Now, some people thought that this was a good thing, like the winner of the event, Norway athlete Christian Blumfeldt, said that this was a good practice for him. He said that, it warmed up his muscles, warmed up his body for the event to start like 10 minutes later. But a different athlete, an Australian, Jake Birtwistle, got knocked in the nose. He got kicked, and he broke his nose, and then he had to start the event over 10 minutes later with a broken nose, which then resulted in him not doing too well. So I hope that the Olympics can not let this type of thing happen again. I hope that they can get their camera angles situated and going away fixed up so that nobody else can get hurt and nobody else can, ruin their event with it.
Thank you, Paige. Now we're going straight into what's trending with Jeff. We're going to cut right to it. Listen, I got 3 good videos. If you haven't caught them earlier, you're going to catch them right now. The first one, I think it was the last couple days it's been trending, but my guy, the catcher from the Savannah Bananas, it's like a baseball team in Georgia, and listen, he's announcing his own entrance. And I got to respect it because, listen, when I played basketball, I'd be doing the same thing. Check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this reminds me of Stick. I can't unsee it. Just not as tall. It's a midget version of Stick.
Like, I love the clapping. When he just walks in, he's getting everyone to clap.
Jeff, do we know if this guy's any good?
The video cut off after the celebration fish, so I doubt he hit anything.
Okay.
But with that kind of entrance, you're almost expected to hit bombs. I feel like look at he threw the mic and everything. He said, "Take this." And the second video is I respect Kansas for doing this because they had a guy who played for them back in the day, 1948 to be exact, and then he served in World War II, and they gave him the chance to come back and break some ankles. And look at this man move. This is going to be me, guys. When I'm 70, look at him.
Jeff,
that's good blocking.
Jeff, I hate to say this. This might come off very rude, but if that's you at 70 years old, I'll do you a favor if you need me to. Oh my God!
Listen, you can't deny. Look, the blocking is impeccable.
The blocking, that looks like the Lions blocking last season.
If that's Jeff at 76, Adam, you have to catch him first because he's pretty fucking.
If that's Jeff at 76, I'll probably be 6 feet under by then. So.
Hey, you can't deny the agility of that man. But
not much agility.
No, the third video. Listen, it's from an arcade, and I always respect guys, and they play the little basketball games, and they try to rack up points. This man let it rip. Alex, let this play. I need to see this man. Oh my God!
This kid's holding every
Anybody
hand.
have a friend like this?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that can do this.
No,
not what he's doing. No, but
not at this speed. The Curry jersey's blessing him.
You see this like every year.
I'm telling you, man.
I swear, it's those guys that just live at the arcade and go to school and are like wizards.
How many tickets is he getting from this? Like, this is
I don't even think he cares about the tickets. He's doing this for the ladies.
That's what I'm saying. He's holding every hand of every other third grader, however old he is.
He's definitely doing it for the ladies, but that is
holding hella hands.
That's all it is, guys, on What's Running with Jeff for today. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff. That was the least exciting way to end what's.
Should I do the pistol, the double pistol?
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Right, sorry,
whatever.
I'll do the double pistol.
Whatever.
That's what we should have ended it on.
Whatever. When we get back, we're gonna touch on one more topic, which I think is gonna be kind of fun. We'll see how much it pisses me off, and then we'll get into Fish's facts after. We'll do that right after the break. You're tuning in to the Morning Woodward Show. God, I hate that. It's such a tongue twister.
We're sports.
Hey guys, I'm D-Mac.
Hey guys, I'm Pilar.
That was a little slow.
Right.
Hi, I'm D-Mac.
I wasn't ready. I was doing this.
Hi, I'm D-Mac.
Hey, I'm Pilar.
I'm Maz. You're lit. Hi, I'm D-Mac.
I'm Pilar.
I'm Maz. We suck.
You suck.
Catch us Monday to Friday, 3 to 5.
Every day, right here on The Hook.
On Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. All right, let's just get down to it. Madden came out with their rankings and their player ratings, and we're just going to talk a few Detroit Lions. I have one major problem on this list, which we'll get to later, but we're going to start with Jared Goff. They have him at overall 77. Keep in mind, Matthew Stafford overall 83. It's irrelevant, but Eazy, Jeff, do you agree Jared Goff overall 77 coming off a trade and a down year where he turned the ball over 16 times?
Yes. 77 makes sense. That's why you couple him with 2 first rounds to get him off your books.
I like this guy.
I was just gonna say Eazy just took the point. That's great. 77 makes sense. I mean, the Rams traded him with 2 first round picks and a compensatory third. So, hey man, you get what you're getting. You might disagree because he just took his team to a Super Bowl and they're only giving him 77. But that also was 2 years ago. So we kind of got to get over it. Madden updates every single year, so I'm not mad about it. I wish you could clear 80.
All right. Well, here's one I kind of have a problem with. I do think it's a bit low, considering I'm aware of how Madden does their ratings. DeAndre Swift is at 74. Now, if you're asking me, and I was a game developer, and I was supposed to come out with my ratings on a DeAndre Swift, he would be ballpark anywhere from 79 to 81, potentially, just based off his versatility, agility, and speed. So I'm not sure how the hell they came up with 74, but I totally disagree with it. Easy?
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Did they not watch him last year?
Yeah.
The times he touched the ball, he averaged 4.6 yards per carry. Like, he was making moves every time he got it, too. What the fuck?
Yep.
I'm trying not to say the F word, but dog,
it makes
what?
zero sense. I would actually like to follow up these developers. Like, what's Jamal Williams' rating?
At least a 70.
If it's more than that,
no, Jamal Williams, I believe, I want to say 71.
Okay, all right. So they're keeping consistent, but it doesn't make sense.
They're consistently dumb, but yeah.
Right. That's a better word. Consistently stupid.
Here's one I do agree with, and I think by the end of the season he'll probably finish overall 83. 84, depending on how good of a season he has. Jeff Okudah starts at overall 76. I think it's a fair number. Easy, Jeff, what do you think?
Jeff Okudah's 76?
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not mad, especially after last season.
It's actually kind of gracious, don't you think, after last season? Like,
well, I think, again, they're going based on his ceiling, and Matt Patricia not being that coach anymore. I just don't get the logic. Like, he's higher than DeAndre Swift, and DeAndre Swift actually performed last season when given the ball. So, I don't know. Jeff Okudah was hurt a lot. They just probably kept his rookie rating from the year prior, and we're like, we have no idea what this guy's going to be. Here's the one I have a problem with. This guy needs to be in the 99 club.
What the fuck?
Jack Fox. punter of the Detroit Lions. Overall 65. Are you kidding me?
Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious?
Jack Fox, listen, if you're watching, I want you to know you're being disrespected. And I'm not a fan of it. This guy punted a football into the Woodward Sports Jeep. He was hitting dimes the whole time. I don't want to hear why he's 65, Madden. I don't give a shit, EA. All I know is that you got to make him 99 by week 1, or I will be outside of your facilities with a pitchfork. I am not happy about this.
I just pictured you with a pitchfork.
I'm being serious. This is bullshit. This guy needs to be...
No, it is.
Like, realistically, he's got to be like an 82, an 84. He's a punter.
When
kick power, kick accuracy, awareness. I think those are the key stats to creating a punter or kicker in that goddamn video game. Yeah, you're telling me he's below a 65 on all 3 of those? Get the...
And they've gave him higher ratings previously. Like, he's never been that low. 65? It's like, how did he get worse?
I don't know.
If anything,
when we get off air, I'm gonna send out...
Reach out to Jack Fox. This is bullshit.
I'm tagging Madden in the video of him kicking the football. And
this is bullshit.
Like, judge it.
Yeah.
All right. Those are the ratings
65
for 4 key Detroit Lions players this upcoming season. In Madden, we'll move on. It's my favorite time of the day, actually. It's Fish's Facts. Fish, take us away, buddy.
Is it time? Yeah, it is. Fish!
Go fish.
Fish Facts.
It's fish!
Oh boy. Today is a great day. We got 3 awesome people here. New people, by the way. Although Jeff's a first-timer. Easy's been on the show before. Adam, did this convince you, Adam, that you're going to start a show?
I'll never start a show.
Oh, darn it.
We like bickering them with them in the hallway.
We start with a video, but thanks Olympics for letting me play Olympic content. So we have a picture of something that happened from the Olympics.
I'm waiting for it, Fish. I don't see it. There it is.
I see myself.
Oh, I saw this morning. That's awesome.
17-year-old Lydia Jacobs won gold in the 100-meter.
What the hell was I doing at 17 years old? I think I was trying to get chicks to like me. Unreal. Did you know Katie Ledecky won it when she was 15?
She did.
That's just ridiculous.
She won gold when she was 15.
Any young person, when there was yesterday, there was a Japanese skater that won at 13
years old. Yeah, unreal.
By the way, any of you guys big into skateboarding? Skateboarding's an Olympic sport now. Any of you guys big on
Tony
skateboarding?
Hawk was skateboarding was an Olympic sport back in the day.
He did the X Games last week. We have a fact on Tony Hawk coming up
You know
next.
what I want to ask? Like Fish, you can even give your opinion. Like, when people win these awards so young, like, how does that work for their mindset? Because you've already gotten gold at such a young age. Like, what do you do from there? Like, what do you just...
some people fall off, some people don't. It's just something. It's a mental thing. Again, I always point to it. There's something up there that ticks. So if you win gold, you strive to win another gold and another and another, and it keeps you motivated. And especially when you're at a young age. I mean, you have to go to high school. You still have your social life, so it's difficult. But
I'd be flexing on everybody with my gold medal. I wear it to school. Have it right around the neck.
You may get bullied for that. Shohei Ohtani is not getting bullied, although he could be getting bullied by better MLB players. He got RBI, stolen base, 5 Ks on the mound. Last player for an RBI, stolen base, and 5+ Ks was Zach Greinke. He got 2 of them in 2018. And the last American League player was Luis Tiant in 1970. So a long time ago.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Shohei Ohtani has just proven he's a phenomenal. I mean,
so that's
enjoy what you're watching this season. You know, maybe he doesn't do it next season or the year after, but guy is hitting for power, pretty close to average. I think he's batting .277, which is not bad considering he bats every other day in the lineup after he's pitching. So it's so impressive to watch him. I think people just need to enjoy the moment right now.
That's what he did last night. He has a season career as well. Shohei Ohtani, most home runs in a season on 100+ strikeouts on the mound. He's got 35 of them. The last guy there is not even touching the double digits of Wes Farrell, 9, and many individuals have 7. Mike Hampton was the most recent, 2001.
Yeah, I remember Mike Hampton.
Honestly,
that's so insane.
That's wild.
He's proving why what he's doing is so historical. He's pitching effectively. His ERA, I believe, is near 3, or if not, it's sub 3, barely. It's unreal. He's an all-star at both positions, and that's not something to scoff at.
I'm curious to see if he can carry it on, because I remember when Mike Trout was the hot name in baseball. Even Miggy at one point when it comes to hitting. I mean, I'm sure he'll always be a phenomenal pitcher, but I wonder if he can keep it up with this. This hitting's phenomenal.
He's got to decide honestly. What's his value? He's 5-1 as a starter. ERA right around 3. He doesn't strike out many batters. It's not that his stuff is filthy. He just locates so well. And regarding his hitting ability, you can't take that away. That is so. The Angels are 7 games, I believe, out of the wild card spot, and they played a majority of the season without Mike Trout. So for me, he's the clear MVP. I don't know if you can take him off the mound or take him off hitting. You can't. He's got to do both.
I can't wait to see his contract.
Book it
when he re-ups. I think he's gonna be fat.
Well, in baseball, there's no salary cap, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane.
Most career players with a walk-off home run, these are active players. Everett Pujols has 12, Ryan Zimmerman has 11, and McCutchen has 8. Jim Thome has 13, and that's the overall record. So, good stuff for... I like watching Everett Pujols play. He's a very good player, so too are the other two.
Yeah.
McCutchen was very good.
Yeah,
As a Pirate. He's
Andrew
not so hot
McCutchen's
anymore.
a blessing for the MLB. It's nice to see players age well and stay the same. It's tough watching players like Miggy and Pujols right now trying to struggle to hit home runs.
Well, that's... The Tigers are the Tigers, so they're going to do that. Today is the 27th of July. Happy Tuesday. Speaking of Tony Hawk, who was in the X Games last week, today in 1999, first skateboarder to land a 900. Do you guys even know what a 900 is? It's basically, what is it, 2.5 360s? Basically what it is.
Oh, okay, I know what you're saying now. Yeah, okay.
So it is, seems pretty hard to do. I bet you Simone Biles can do it. Not on a skateboard, but...
Well, not right now. She's hurt.
Well, okay, but, 6 hours ago when she was not hurt, she could probably do it, but in the air instead of a skateboard. Lance Armstrong, 2003, he won the Tour de France. Well, as you know from his scandal that he's in, he did not win the Tour de France. They took it away from him. So, sad for Lance Armstrong.
That's all good, Fish.
But,
is that it?
No, we have birthdays today.
Awesome.
And birthdays with finesse. What the hell's wrong with you?
No, I'm
birthdays
waiting.
with finesse. Ed Ogeron, you guys like him? Go Tigers!
Love him.
Honestly, he drives me nuts. He reminds me of an older, deteriorated version of Dan Campbell.
That's 1961. Oh boy. Well then, good luck. 1988, Ryan Tannehill, and I didn't realize Ryan Tannehill the third.
30?
No, Ryan Tannehill the third.
The third?
That's
oh,
his
the
name.
third.
So I guess you
I
can't
don't look at family lineage when I watch
you
NFL
can't
quarterbacks.
call him
Some guys
Ryan
put on their
Tannehill. You got to
jerseys.
call him Ryan Tannehill the third now.
No, that's-
1988, and it is the same guy.
I'm glad
Adam,
it
you're
took
a
10 years to
golfer.
decide.
Adam, you're a golfer. 1993, Jordan Spieth.
Yep.
It is his birthday today.
How old is he?
27, 28?
So I was thinking.
So he's looking very good. He's around your age, Adam.
Yeah, he's a great golfer.
He's winning.
He's
He
getting
is.
back.
He is winning.
Golf needs Spieth and these guys to be good. They
Speaking
need it.
of golf-
Especially with Tiger getting into car accidents every other 7 months.
Wow, that's mean. Speaking of golf, it's in the Olympics tomorrow. Will you be watching, Adam?
I won't be.
Oh.
I'm
well.
working.
Oh, multitask.
I'll watch USA basketball. I'll watch them maybe lose.
They're playing Iran tonight, 12:40. They're going to win by like 110
they're gonna win.
points.
No way.
So
Did the women win the baseball or softball game?
they lost. They lost 2-0 to Japan.
Damn.
And the U.S. women beat
All right, enough
Nigeria.
bashing my goddamn country, Fish. Anything else?
I was not. I was
God
standing
damn it.
related. Those
Anything
are the
else,
facts.
Fish?
We'll be back. Those are the facts. We'll be
God
back tomorrow
damn
for
it.
more awesome facts.
All
If
right,
you don't
let's
want
get
me on
into
the show,
dumbass
tell
of
me
the
you
day.
don't
Stop
want me on
bashing
the
my
show.
country. The hell's wrong with you? Easy, take
You're
us into the
bashing your
dumbest
own
of the day,
country.
please.
The Detroit Pistons select Darko Milicic.
World's dumbest criminal.
Well, so much for me calling him savvy because he had no idea where he's on the field.
When he crosses too many timeouts, it's a technical foul.
Dumbass!
Today's dumbass of the day, I really don't know. Some of the stuff you come across on the internet, and there's just like no context, but it's just like a wild ass video. You can only imagine. Like the rest is up to you and your imagination to piece it all together. We have this man. I'm just gonna say this is straight out of a Grand Theft Auto remake. He's jumping onto an ambulance, or he's being carted away on the ambulance. Obviously the officials are there. Something serious had to have happened.
Oh, he's out.
And he's out. He's outie. He's got 3 stars. The cops are chasing him.
He just bumped that dude with the pizza.
Look, his health is
3.5
down
stars
now. He's
now.
got like 25% health left.
He's hurt, man.
I just like
what?
There's you like I'm saying you. This is what you see on the internet with no context. Like, what do you think is happening here, Adam? Like, what do you?
I want to
piece this story together. I want each of you guys to piece this together. What you
real
think
quick,
happened?
I just want to know, why is he avoiding the healthcare? Is he in trouble? Like, does he have something like?
I don't see any cops. I don't know if he's in. I don't know if he's in trouble. I don't see any police
Probably
officers.
pissed he has to pay for health care. Not
Okay,
in
look,
Canada.
my assumption is that he was peeing on the side of the road, and it rubbed somebody the wrong way,
Why
and they
would
got
he
in a
need
fight.
That's so specific.
Why would he need an ambulance?
I want to hear the
Because he
story.
got his
Fish.
ass. Because he probably got his ass kicked, or somebody ran him over because he was peeing on the side of the road. I don't know exactly what happened. That's just what I'm thinking. Especially that this looks just out of a Grand Theft Auto scene. I don't know.
But why did my man with the pizza had to catch some strays? You know what I mean? Like he dropped his whole pizza.
Hey, he had a pizza. I think that's part of
Or
life.
he had something like he was carrying a
That's
whole
part
dish.
of
Watch
life.
this.
Listen, wrong place at the wrong time. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Listen,
Bro,
this guy, he's
what?
Usain Bolt right now.
This guy's
and
got
then
like a
there's
whole
this dude
pizza.
delivering,
His
and he's
house
like,
like-
"Oh shit, hey man." Honestly, like if I was a bystander and that was my pizza, I would chase that guy and kick his ass. Like now I have to wait another 20 minutes to get a goddamn
Now
pizza
you're hungry,
because of
man.
you.
You know what?
Not if you choose Domino's, you get that a second one for free.
Fish, I don't want to hear that shit. We're not plugging Domino's right now. You know what, Fish?
Yeah, they don't pay us.
Bashing my country, not plugging Domino's, unacceptable. Fish, mute your mic for the rest of the show. I have an honorable mention for Dumbest of the Day today. It's every Detroit Lions fan that thought Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to play this year. Fuck you. You are dumb. There's no way you pass on $35 million. Congratulations for being dumb. Art is in the booth. I see him. Art, you're not going 10-7. Fuck you too. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stick will be back tomorrow with the crew. Easy, thank you so much for stepping up. Jeff, same for you. Fish, great job today. Paige and Andrew, great job. Alex, thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow. I won't be, thankfully. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for tuning into the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network.